Chapter 2986. Mo Qing Yun. It seems like you've miscalculated. No one will come to save you. Seeing that Chun was held back again, Zi Chengrong sneered and looked pleased with himself. Although Zi Chengrong was pleased with himself, his attacks didn't slow down at all as he continued to attack Mo Qing Yun. Bang! Under Zi Chengrong's domineering attack, Mo Qing Yun was once again sent flying, and the injuries on his body worsened. After Mo Qing Yun stabilized himself, he spat out a mouthful of blood, and his aura weakened. Before Mo Qing Yun could calm his surging qi and blood, Zi Chengrong attacked again with a sinister smile on his face. Looking at Zi Chengrong's expression, he seemed to be confident in his victory and felt that he could defeat Mo Qing Yun for sure. What should I do now? Looking at his situation, Mo Qing Yun's expression tensed up as his mind spun quickly. Mo Qing Yun pondered for a moment before a ruthless look appeared on his face. He made a decision in his heart. Immediately after, Mo Qing Yun began to focus and condense the saint energy in his body. As Mo Qing Yun condensed his saint power, the aura he exuded began to rise rapidly. Sensing the change in Mo Qing Yun's aura, Zi Chengrong's expression changed as he guessed Mo Qing Yun's intention. Mo Qing Yun was preparing to break through to the intermediate sector Lord Realm. Trying to break through in front of me? I think you're looking for death. After understanding Mo Qing Yun's intention, Zi Chengrong sneered as a mocking smile appeared on his face. Presumably, in his opinion, Mo Qing Yun's current action was an extremely foolish one. Zi Chengrong shouted coldly. His figure flashed as he attacked Mo Qing Yun. Soon, Zi Chengrong arrived in front of Mo Qing Yun and pointed at Mo Qing Yun. Facing Zi Chengrong's attack, Mo Qing Yun did not dare to stay any longer. He immediately retreated. Mo Qing Yun rode on the Saint Power Pegasus. His figure flashed and pulled away from Zi Chengrong. Let's see where you're going to hide. Seeing Mo Qing Yun's action, the sneer on Zi Chengrong's face deepened. Then, he continued to pursue Mo Qing Yun, and his attacks became even more ferocious. Under Zi Chengrong's crazy attacks, Mo Qing Yun's aura started to become chaotic. Obviously, Zi Chengrong's crazy pursuit had a great impact on his breakthrough. No, I can't condense Saint Power while being chased by Zi Chengrong. Sensing his situation, Mo Qing Yun's brows furrowed tightly, and his mood became a little heavy. If he couldn't condense his saint energy, he would have a 90% chance of failure if he tried to break through to the intermediate sector Lord Realm. Most importantly, if he failed to break through, he might suffer a backlash. By then, even if Zi Chengrong didn't make a move, an ordinary sector lord would be able to kill him easily. Thinking of this, Mo Qing Yun gave up on breaking through and continued to think of other ways to resolve the crisis. Seeing that Mo Qing Yun had given up on breaking through, the sneer on Zi Chengrong's face became even more intense. Zi Chengrong said proudly, Mo Qing Yun, why don't you break through? I'm still waiting for you to break through so that we can have a good fight. Hearing Zi Chengrong's proud words, Mo Qing Yun's face darkened and he remained silent. He was not in the mood to talk back to Zi Chengrong for a moment of satisfaction. Seeing that Mo Qing Yun was silent, Zi Chengrong stopped talking and chased after Mo Qing Yun coldly. Then, Mo Qing Yun frantically used the Saint Energy Pegasus to dodge Zi Chengrong's attacks. As Mo Qing Yun's mind and Saint Energy had been severely depleted, he was hit by Zi Chengrong continuously while he was escaping. After being hit by Zi Chengrong continuously, Mo Qing Yun's injuries worsened and it became more and more difficult for him to dodge. Noticing Mo Qing Yun's situation, Babilai and the others' expressions turned solemn. They could not help but worry for Mo Qing Yun. Qing Yun, you don't have to worry about us. Leave with Senior and Chun. Thinking that Mo Qing Yun had stayed behind to save them, Babilai tried to persuade him. When your strength increases, you can go and exterminate the dark demon race and avenge us. Upon hearing Babel's words, the members of the Supreme Harmony Demon sect looked resolute. They knew that Mo Qingyun was in such a situation because he did not want to abandon them. Otherwise, with Mo Qingyun's terrifying movement technique, he would definitely be able to escape from Zi Chungrong's pursuit. Senior brother Mo, don't worry about us. Leave by yourself. Junior brother Mo, I will remember your kindness. Let's be brothers in the next life. Qingyun, leave quickly. Don't worry about us. Shen Liang and the others tried to persuade Mo Qingyun. Seeing Shen Liang and the others' reaction, and Shen's face turned solemn, and he said, Master, the situation is irreversible. You should move some people to the Fortune mainland. We should leave immediately. Hearing everyone's words, Mo Qingyun's face revealed a happy expression. He looked like he was struggling. He really couldn't abandon everyone and leave alone. Mo Qingyun, you didn't think that you would end up like this, right? Looking at Mo Qingyun's reaction, Zi Chungrong revealed a complacent expression. It was as if he had already won the battle. Mo Qingyun gritted his teeth in anger when he heard Zi Chungrong's words. A strong sense of unwillingness rose in his heart as he said, I won't leave, and I won't leave anyone behind. Even if I die today, I will drag you down with me. As soon as Mo Qingyun finished speaking, a ruthless expression appeared on his face. He no longer avoided Zi Chungrong's pursuit. Mo Qingyun's figure flashed as he chased after Zi Chungrong. He slashed his sword at Zi Chungrong. You overestimate yourself. Facing Mo Qingyun's attack, Zi Chungrong smiled disdainfully, showing a strong sense of disdain. He probably felt that Mo Qingyun would not be able to resist at this point, and he did not think that Mo Qingyun was putting up a desperate struggle. Just as Zi Chungrong was thinking about it, a strong sense of uneasiness rose in his heart. What's going on? Why do I have such a feeling? As the abnormal feeling rose in his heart, Zi Chungrong's expression changed. He looked at Mo Qingyun in shock and exclaimed, What's going on? Why did Mo Qingyun's aura suddenly change so drastically? Just as Zi Chungrong was feeling shocked, he realized that the heaven and earth around Mo Qingyun had started to change mysteriously. It was as if the heavens were enraged and were about to exterminate the world. When Chun saw Mo Qingyun's situation, he was elated. He revealed an excited expression and said, This is the heaven's might's secret skill. Master's heaven's might overlord body has awakened. After saying those words, Chun looked at Mo Qingyun with an expectant expression and looked excitedly at him. At the same time, his expression became more relaxed. He was no longer worried about Mo Qingyun. End of chapter. Chapter 2987. Heaven's Might Illusion. Along with Mo Qingyun's shout, the sky started to change color and a large number of purple thunderclouds gathered. In just a short while, the area within a radius of 1,000,000 miles was covered by purple thunderclouds. When the purple thunderclouds gathered, they emitted a terrifying aura that made everyone tremble. What kind of divine ability is this? Under this pressure, I actually have the urge to kneel down and worship it. I didn't expect Senior Brother Mo to have such a trump card. He has hidden it well. In this case, it won't be easy for the great sage expert to kill Senior Brother Mo. Looking at the purple thunderclouds gathering in the sky, the people of the Supreme Harmony Demon Sect were less worried. Judging from the power of this superpower, it was enough to make Zi Chungrong fearful. He did not dare to attack Mo Qingyun rashly. This superpower is too powerful. I can't let Mo Qingyun use it successfully. Feeling the pressure from the purple thunderclouds, Zi Chungrong's expression tensed up. He immediately flew toward Mo Qingyun. Zi Chungrong's figure flashed. He appeared in front of Mo Qingyun and decisively pointed his finger at him. Zi Chungrong pointed his finger, and a terrifying finger radiance shot out from his finger. Break! In the face of the finger radiance, Mo Qingyun did not retreat. He raised his hand and slapped it forward. As Mo Qingyun raised his hand, a powerful purple thunderbolt was directed toward the finger radiance. Poof! 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 When the purple thunderbolt hit the finger radiance, it emitted a dazzling purple light and a terrifying aura. Soon after, The finger radiance that Zi Chungrong shot out was dispersed by the purple thunderbolt. What a powerful superpower! When Zi Chungrong saw that his all-out attack had been dispersed by the purple thunderbolt, he was so frightened that his face trembled. He said, "Just one bolt of purple thunderbolt has such a terrifying power. How am I going to block it if it's 10, 100, or even 1,000 bolts?" Zi Qingrong knew very well that if the purple thundercloud, which covered a radius of 50 kilometers, struck down together, there would be more than 1,000 bolts of lightning. Mo Qingyun controlled the purple thunderbolt to disperse Zi Chungrong's finger light. He sneered and said, "Zi Chungrong, didn't you want to fight me head-on? Are you satisfied with my current performance?" Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Zi Chungrong's eyelids twitched, and his expression became gloomy. He had to admit that Mo Qingyun's method of controlling the purple lightning had really frightened him. Seeing that Zi Chungrong was silent, Mo Qingyun's expression turned cold. He said, "You've been complacent for so long. It's my turn to fight back." As soon as Mo Qingyun finished speaking, he made a grabbing motion in the air, causing a wave of thunderclouds to surge. Boom, boom, boom. As the purple thunderclouds churned, dazzling bolts of purple lightning descended from the sky. Shortly after, the few sector lords from the Dark Demon race were struck by the purple lightning. After being struck by the purple lightning, the few sector lords from the Dark Demon race cried out in agony. They only let out a few screams before their bodies were annihilated by the purple lightning. Seeing such a scene, the surrounding people were stunned. With a casual wave of the hand, the purple lightning killed a few sector lords. It was too terrifying. Senior Brother Mo is so strong. He's not just strong, he should be called terrifying. The group from a Supreme Harmony Demon sect exclaimed. Shortly after, a radiant smile appeared on their faces. From the looks of it, the crisis had been resolved. After annihilating the world lords of the Dark Devil race, Mo Qingyun turned to look at Zi Fei, and a cold smile appeared on the corners of his mouth. "Old man, you've been jumping around happily. Now, I'd like to see how many more times you can jump around." Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Zi Fei's old face trembled and turned pale. When Mo Qingyun had attacked just now, he had clearly seen the might of the purple lightning. Although he was an emperor, he wasn't confident at all to take the purple lightning head-on. "Mo Qingyun, you're too arrogant." Seeing Mo Qingyun ignoring him and slaughtering his own people, Zi Qingrong was completely enraged. Shortly after, he moved and attacked Mo Qingyun. Mo Qingyun didn't care about Zi Qingrong's attack and pushed his left palm towards Zi Qingrong. As Mo Qingyun waved his hand, balls of purple thunderclouds surged towards Zi Qingrong and struck down terrifying purple lightning. Hong, hong, hong. A bolt of purple lightning struck and blocked Zi Qingrong's path, forcing him to dodge continuously. After neutralizing Zi Qingrong's attack, Mo Qingyun sneered and said, "After I take care of that old man, I'll deal with you slowly." After saying that to Zi Qingrong, Mo Qingyun turned his head to look at Zi Fei and began to attack him. Very quickly, bolts of purple lightning blasted towards Zi Fei. Facing the purple lightning, Zi Fei was so frightened that his eyelids twitched, and he quickly dodged in a panic. As Zi Fei dodged the lightning, he couldn't guard against Enchun, and there was a flaw in his defense. Let's see where you can run to this time. Die. After discovering the flaw in Zi Fei's defense, Enchun's face turned cold, and he pointed at his glabella. Following that, a terrifying black light gate shot out from his glabella. The black light gate shot out and enveloped Zi Fei, devouring his body crazily. Being devoured by the black energy, Zi Fei was in agony, and he screamed in agony. Looking at Zi Fei's appearance, Zi Qingrong was so frightened that his eyelids twitched, and he was terrified. At the same time, a strong desire to retreat grew in his heart. Now that he was the only one left, he had no chance of winning against Mo Qingyun and Enchun. With his current injuries, if he were to be slightly careless, he might be left here. Mo Qingyun, I'll remember our debt. Next time, I'll settle it with you. Zi Qingrong knew that he had lost the upper hand, and he didn't stay any longer. He moved his body and escaped into the distance. Seeing that Zi Qingrong had escaped, Mo Qingyun took a deep breath, and his face turned pale. Following that, Mo Qingyun spat out a mouthful of blood, and his eyes slowly closed. Seeing Mo Qingyun's condition, Babilai and the others were shocked, and they immediately flew to Mo Qingyun. Soon after, Mo Qingyun was supported by Babilai and the others, and he fainted in front of them. Seeing Mo Qingyun's condition, Babilai immediately released his mind to check on his body. After checking, Babeli's expression changed, and he was relieved. He said, Qingyun's injuries aren't serious. He just overused his saint power and mind. He'll be fine after resting for a while. After knowing Mo Qingyun's condition, the Supreme Harmony Demon Sex people were relieved. Since Mo Qingyun was fine, they could rest assured. Chapter 2988. While Babilai and the others were talking, Enchun had killed Zi Fei and arrived in front of them. Enchun arrived in front of them and observed Mo Qingyun's condition. He nodded to them and said, Enter the lightning shuttle airship. I'll take you to the true Primordium Demon Palace. Understood. Hearing Enchun's instructions, the Extreme Harmony Demon Sex group immediately entered the lightning shuttle airship. After everyone had boarded the Thunder Shuttle flying ship, Enchun controlled the Thunder Shuttle flying ship and set off without a word. Seeing that Enchun was controlling the lightning shuttle airship, Babilai and the others walked toward Mo Qingyun, ready to help Mo Qingyun recover. When they arrived in front of Mo Qingyun, a shocking scene unfolded before their eyes. The injuries on Mo Qingyun's body were healing at a speed visible to the naked eye. Seeing such a situation, they were all stunned and found it hard to believe. Mo Qingyun's recovery was too terrifying. I didn't expect Qingyun's body to be so strong. I'm afraid that even Emperor Realm experts are far inferior to such a powerful physique. Isn't that obvious? Didn't you see that the great saint from before didn't even dare to clash with Qingyun? Everyone gasped in surprise. Seeing that Mo Qingyun's injuries were recovering on their own, Babilai and the others stopped interfering. Then they sat down cross-legged and adjusted their breathing to recover the energy they'd expended in the previous battle. Although they weren't qualified to interfere in the battle with Zi Qingrong, they'd expended a lot of energy in the battle with the Dark Demon earlier. Some of the disciples still had serious injuries and needed to recuperate. Several hours later, Mo Qingyun, who'd been unconscious, slowly woke up. He opened his eyes and scanned the surroundings. Seeing that Babilai and the others were fine, Mo Qingyun's expression relaxed. The worry in his heart was completely gone. It seemed that Zi Qingrong had been scared away by him, and the others were not in danger. Seeing that Mo Qingyun had woken up, Babilai and the others hurriedly gathered around him with a concerned expression. Qingyun, how do you feel? Do you feel uncomfortable anywhere? I'm fine. Hearing Babeli's words of concern, Mo Qingyun shook his head with a faint smile, giving everyone a reassuring smile. Seeing Mo Qingyun's reaction, Babilai and the others felt relieved. They were worried about Mo Qingyun, so they retreated. Babilai and the others retreated to the side to heal their wounds. Mo Qingyun stood up and walked towards Dark Dawn. He said, How long have you been unconscious? When can we reach the true beginning Devil Hall? And Shin replied, You were only unconscious for a few hours. It will take about half a day before we can return to the true, absolute beginning Devil Palace. After learning of his current whereabouts, Mo Qingyun nodded in understanding and said, Tell me more about the Heaven's Might's secret technique. Yes. Hearing Mo Qingyun's orders, Shin dared not hesitate at all. He said, The strength of the Heaven's Might's secret technique is just like its name. After it's activated, it's like the wrath of the heavens. Master, although you activated the Heaven's Might's secret technique last time, it's not the true Heaven's Might's secret technique. You can only copy its form. In my opinion, if you can use half of the Heaven's Might's secret technique's power, you can easily slaughter emperors. And Chen's explanation immediately shocked Mo Qingyun. He found it rather hard to believe. Since he had used the Heaven's Might secret technique once, Mo Qingyun knew very well how powerful it was. What he had never thought was that the Heaven's Might secret technique at full power would be so powerful. Just as Mo Qingyun was shocked, he began to have some concerns. He said, "The Heaven's Might secret technique is powerful, but consumes a lot of saint force when it's used. With my current cultivation, even half of the Heaven's Might secret technique's power will be drained instantly, and I'll die from the backlash, let alone using it at full power." Indeed, and Shin nodded and agreed with Mo Qingyun's concerns. He said, "There are two sides to everything. It's because the Heaven's Might secret technique is powerful that it consumes a lot of saint force when it's used. And one more thing, since you've awakened the Heaven's Might secret technique, it means that your physique might be the purple thunder crystal dragon physique." And Shin's analysis made Mo Qingyun's eyes light up, and a look of anticipation appeared on his face. Although he still could not be sure whether his current physique was the purple thunder crystal dragon physique or not. However, one thing was certain. Since he had awakened the Heaven's Might secret technique, it meant that his current physique was the Heaven's Might tyrant physique. My injuries haven't healed yet, so I need to cultivate for a while. Summon me when we arrive at the true, absolute beginning Devil Hall. After conversing with Enchun for a while to clear his doubts, Mo Qingyun's figure disappeared in a flicker, entering the Fortune Mainland. Arriving at the Fortune Mainland, Mo Qingyun sat down cross-legged and started cultivating to recover from his injuries. Under Mo Qingyun's cultivation, waves of astonishing power of creation converged towards him. Darkness devouring Heaven Gate. Sensing the gathering of fortune energy, Mo Qingyun used his innate ability to absorb them into his body. Under Mo Qingyun's refinement, the aura he exuded gradually stabilized. Not only that, Mo Qingyun's aura also rose little by little. Who would have thought that the battle with Zi Chengrong this time would strengthen my foundation? Looking at his current situation, Mo Qingyun's lips curved into a faint smile. This was an unexpected gain. Mo Qingyun smiled and muttered to himself. He had a plan. After I recover from my injuries and complete the Old Hall Master's burial, I'll hunt some grand misspirits and prepare to break through to the mid-level World Lord realm. After making up his mind, Mo Qingyun threw away the distracting thoughts in his mind and wholeheartedly immersed himself in cultivation. In the following days, Mo Qingyun's injuries rapidly healed as he cultivated. Time passed by quickly. Before Mo Qingyun knew it, a day had passed. After a day of cultivation, his injuries were basically healed. At this time, Enchen's voice transmission appeared in his mind. Hearing Enchen's voice transmission, Mo Qingyun's figure disappeared in a flicker and he left the Fortune Mainland. After leaving the Fortune Mainland, Mo Qingyun saw that Lame Yuan and the others had already arrived at the entrance to receive him. Martial Ancestor, I'll have to trouble you to settle the disciples of the Supreme Harmony Devil Gate. Walking to Polar Snow, Mo Qingyun instructed him to hand over the disciples of the Supreme Harmony Devil Gate to him. After hearing Mo Qingyun's instructions, Polar Snow nodded solemnly and called Bob Bailai and the others to leave. After Polar Snow and the others left, Mo Qingyun noticed that Lame Yuan's expression had become a little solemn. Seeing Lame Yuan's expression, Mo Qingyun frowned and vaguely felt that something was wrong. He asked, "What's wrong? Did something happen in the true, absolute beginning Devil Hall?" Hearing Mo Qingyun's question, Lame Yuan shook her head and said, "The people of the Devil Resistance Alliance are here." Mo Qingyun's expression changed, and shock flashed through his eyes. Chapter 2989. When he and Lame Yuan returned from the Purple Heaven Holy Land, he heard from Lei Gi that the Anti-Demon Alliance had sent an invitation. However, he did not expect that the Anti-Demon Alliance would send people over in just a few days. Could it be that the Dark Demon race is too strong and the Anti-Demon Alliance is unable to contend with them, so they urgently need reinforcements? Thinking of the strength of Zi Chengrong and the others, Mo Qingyun guessed that the Anti-Demon Alliance had sent people over because they did not have enough troops and urgently needed more people. Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Lame Yuan shook her head and said, "The Dark Demon race is indeed very strong, but the Anti-Demon Alliance is not powerless to contend with them." Listening to the tone of the three envoys, the Anti-Demon Alliance invited us to join because they want us to be cannon fodder. So that's the case. Mo Qingyun's expression was slightly cold, and there was a surge of anger in his heart. If what Lame Yuan said was true, then the Anti-Demon Alliance's actions were a little too much. Everyone joined forces to contend against the Dark Demon race, and their status should be equal. Just like what Lame Yuan said, the forces in the Anti-Demon Alliance were clearly divided into different levels. Some of the weaker forces, after joining the Anti-Demon Alliance, would not only not receive protection, but would also be reduced to cannon fodder and weeds. Such a situation did not make sense. Rather than this, it was better not to join. After briefly explaining the situation of the Anti-Demon Alliance to Mo Qingyun, Lame Yuan turned and walked forward, saying, "They are waiting for my reply. Come with me." Okay. Mo Qingyun nodded and followed. Following behind Lame Yuan, Mo Qingyun soon arrived at the Thunder Hall and saw the envoys of the Anti-Demon Alliance. There were a total of 3 envoys from the Anti-Demon Alliance. The 3 of them were not weak and were all quasi-emperors. Seeing the arrival of Mo Qingyun's group, the 3 of them had a lazy posture, crossing their legs and leaning back on their chairs, showing no intention of standing up to greet them. Moreover, the gazes they shot at Mo Qingyun and the young man were filled with disdain. It was obvious that they were looking at them with disdain. Looking at their behavior, Mo Qingyun frowned and was a little displeased with them. After glancing at Mo Qingyun and Luo Yunyang, one of the 3 envoys said impatiently, "Lame Yuan, have you made up your mind?" When he heard this person's tone, the anger in Mo Qingyun's heart intensified. At the same time, he had no interest in joining the Anti-Demon Alliance. In Mo Qingyun's opinion, 3 mere quasi-emperors dared to treat Lame Yuan this way. Moreover, this was the true Demon Palace. If they were in the territory of the Anti-Demon Alliance, wouldn't they be too arrogant? One could only imagine how those with higher cultivation in the Alliance would react once they joined the Anti-Demon Alliance. Sensing Mo Qingyun's anger, Lame Yuan shook her head, indicating to Mo Qingyun not to be angry. Seeing Lame Yuan's signal, Mo Qingyun clenched his fists and suppressed the anger in his heart. Although he was unhappy with the 3 of them, he would still tolerate it for Lame Yuan's sake. Seeing that Mo Qingyun had suppressed his anger, Lame Yuan turned to look at the 3 of them and said in a negotiating tone, "3 emissaries, I still need to think about it. How about I give you an answer after I bury my father?" Hearing Lame Yuan's reply, the 3 of them immediately looked unhappy. One of them snorted coldly and said, "Lame Yuan, our time is very limited. We don't have the time to waste with you here. You must give us an answer immediately." Seeing this person's attitude, Lame Yuan's pretty face turned ugly. It was obvious that she was angry. Before Lame Yuan could speak, another emissary sneered and said, "If you don't give us an answer, we'll go back and report that the true Demon Palace has sided with the Dark Demon race. We hope that you'll consider it carefully." Seeing their attitude, Mo Qingyun was completely enraged. He said coldly with an unhappy expression, "The 3 of you, aren't you going a little too far by forcing us to join the Anti-Demon Alliance?" Mo Qingyun's sudden words stunned the 3 of them. They couldn't help but glance at Mo Qingyun. When they sensed that Mo Qingyun was only at the initial stage of the Sector Lord realm, their gazes towards Mo Qingyun were filled with intense disdain. One of them snorted coldly, "Who are you?" "We're talking to Lame Yuan. Since when did you have the right to interrupt us?" Lame Yuan was unhappy when she saw this person berating Mo Qingyun. She said coldly, "He's my husband. Do you think he has the right to speak?" The moment they heard Lame Yuan's words, the 3 emissaries were shocked. Their eyes were filled with shock. They didn't expect that Mo Qingyun would be able to capture Lame Yuan's heart with his initial stage sector Lord Realm cultivation. One had to admit that Mo Qingyun did have some tricks up his sleeve. Under their shocked gazes, Mo Qingyun revealed a cold expression and said, "The three of you, I'll give you a clear answer now. The true Demon Palace won't join the Anti-Demon Alliance. The three of you, please leave." As soon as Mo Qingyun said that, he raised his right hand and gestured for them to enter. The three of them were furious when they saw Mo Qingyun's actions. They looked at Lei Muan unhappily and said, "Lei Muan, is this what you want? Let me remind you, if you refuse to join the Anti-Demon Alliance, don't regret it in the future." Please. Lei Muan didn't care about this person's warning at all. She asked them to leave with a cold expression. Mo Qingyun had already started to ask them to leave. She naturally couldn't do the opposite. The three of them didn't stay any longer and left with gloomy expressions when they saw Lei Muan's actions. Lei Muan's face tightened when she saw the three of them leave. She said, "The three of them are narrow-minded. We've angered them this time. I'm afraid they won't let this matter rest." Mo Qingyun revealed a faint smile when he saw the worried Lei Muan. He acted like he didn't care and said, "Don't worry too much. I can imagine the foul atmosphere in the Anti-Demon Alliance just by looking at their ugly faces. Those fellows are all scheming against each other. They won't ask for trouble to deal with us." Lei Muan's expression turned better after she heard Mo Qingyun's analysis. The worry in her heart lessened a little. Mo Qingyun showed a concerned expression after the matter of the Anti-Demon Alliance was settled. He said, "How are the preparations for the burial of the old Hall Master?" "Everything is ready. We're just waiting for you to come back." Lei Muan replied calmly. She didn't want to waste any more time. She got up and walked out of the main hall. She said, "Since you're back, let's go find Ancestor Lei Gi and confirm the time of the burial. Let's go." Mo Qingyun nodded and walked out of the main hall. The two of them left the main hall and went to Lei Gi's residence to prepare for the burial of the old Hall Master. End of chapter. Chapter 2990. Qingyun, you're back. Did everything go well? Lei Gi and the others immediately stood up when they saw Mo Qingyun and Mu Wanwan. They welcomed them with concern. Mo Qingyun nodded when he heard Lei Gi's question. Everything went well. Although there were some unforeseen events, they have all been resolved. That's good. Lei Gi nodded with gratification. Mu Xia's expression tensed up when he heard Mo Qingyun and the others' conversation. He asked, "Hall Master, what about the Anti-Demon Alliance? Will we join or refuse?" "I think that joining the Anti-Demon Alliance might give us some protection, but everything we do in the future will be greatly restricted. The disadvantages might outweigh the benefits. We don't have to bother about the Anti-Demon Alliance. Mu Wan and I have already refused." Mo Qingyun gave them an answer with a serious expression. He expressed his attitude and said, "Ancestors, how are the preparations for the old Hall Master's burial?" "Everything is ready. We can start any time," Lei Gi replied. He looked at Lei Muan and asked, "Hall Master, since Mr. Mo is back, should we start the burial now?" "Let's start now." Lei Muan felt guilty when she thought about how the old Hall Master's body had been lost for so many years. She wasn't willing to wait any longer. Lei Gi and Mu Wanwan walked out of the courtyard when they heard Lei Muan's order. They started to arrange for the burial of the old Hall Master. "Let's go." Mo Qingyun quickly followed when he saw Lei Gi and Mu Wanwan leave. Before long, the group arrived at the true Primordium Devil Hall's ancestral hall and held the Hall Master's burial ceremony. Under the guidance of Lei Gi and Mu Wanwan, Mo Qingyun and Mu Wanwan completed the ceremony and successfully buried the old Hall Master's body. After burying the old Hall Master's body, Mo Qingyun and the others left the ancestral shrine. He said to Lei Muan, "I'm preparing to go into seclusion for a period of time to break through to the intermediate sector Lord Realm. I'll let Chun stay in the sect during this period. If you encounter any trouble, you can ask him for help." "Yes." Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Lei Muan nodded. After that, Mo Qingyun gave Chun some instructions before he returned to his residence. Back at his residence, Mo Qingyun did not delay, directly entering the Fortune mainland. Let's hunt the spirits of primordial chaos first. With a flash, Mo Qingyun arrived at the edge of the primordial fog sea and jumped into it. After entering the primordial fog sea, Mo Qingyun continued to swim forward. Very quickly, he swam close to 10,000 meters. I never expected that I would actually be able to swim so far after entering the primordial fog sea this time. Looking at the distance he had swum, Mo Qingyun was surprised by his own progress. He faintly remembered that he was only able to dive a few thousand meters into the primordial mist ocean the last time. Mo Qingyun muttered to himself. He swam around, searching for grand mist spirits to kill. Not long after, an Emperor Realm grand mist spirit entered his perception. Holy force transforming into a Pegasus. After discovering an Emperor Realm grand mist spirit, Mo Qingyun did not dare to be careless. He immediately condensed a Holy Force Pegasus. After the Holy Force Pegasus was condensed, Mo Qingyun rode on it and chased after the Emperor Realm Grand Mist Spirit. Mo Qingyun's figure flickered a few times, and he caught up to the Emperor Realm Grand Mist Spirit in the blink of an eye. He stabbed his sword at it. Ignore defense. Double space imprisonment. Double time reversal. With each stab, Mo Qingyun released several kinds of laws to increase the swordlight's power. Under the suppression of several kinds of laws, the Emperor Realm Grand Mist Spirit's body clearly paused for a moment. In the split second the Emperor Realm Grand Mist Spirit paused, the sword light pierced through its head and killed it. After killing the Emperor Realm Grand Mist Spirit, Mo Qingyun's footsteps did not stop as he went to find a new target. After a few hours, Mo Qingyun stopped hunting and exited the Grand Mist Sea. 5 Emperor Realm Grand Mist Spirits should be enough for me to make a breakthrough. Mo Qingyun muttered to himself as he gazed at the 5 spirits of primordial chaos before him, and then he started refining them. Mo Qingyun's hands moved rapidly, forming a black light gate that emitted a terrifying devouring power. Under the devouring power, the Grand Mist energy within the Grand Mist Spirit's bodies was immediately extracted, following which pure Grand Mist energy was channeled into Mo Qingyun's body. Sensing the Grand Mist energy entering his body, Mo Qingyun immediately refined it and raised his cultivation. Time passed by slowly. My sane energy has been condensed to the limit. Sensing the situation in his body, Mo Qingyun stopped refining the Grand Mist energy and began to break through the barrier. With a thought, Mo Qingyun circulated the saint energy in his body and attempted to break through to the intermediate sector Lord Realm. Under the full force charge, the barrier was instantly broken through, and Mo Qingyun's cultivation broke through. Refined. After successfully breaking through, Mo Qingyun did not stop and continued to refine the Grand Mist energy to stabilize his cultivation. While Mo Qingyun was cultivating in seclusion, a group of people from the true absolute beginning Devil Palace arrived and stood in midair with an unfriendly attitude. Lei Muin, come out and meet us. An old man exuding the aura of a martial emperor shouted coldly as the crowd hovered in the air. As the old man spoke, he also activated his Emperor Realm aura and enveloped the entire true absolute beginning Devil Palace. Under the old man's aura, the disciples of the true absolute beginning Devil Palace turned pale with fright. Not only the disciples, but Lei Gi and the others were also shrouded by the Emperor Realm aura, and their expressions were tense. Then, they went to find Lei Muin and waited for Lei Muin's instructions. When they came to Lei Muin flew into midair without a word. Lei Muin's expression turned ugly when she glanced at the group of people. At this moment, the few people in the sky above the true absolute beginning Devil Hall, other than this Emperor Realm expert, the other 3 were the envoys from before. May I know why the 4 of you are looking for me? After glancing at the 4 of them, Lei Muin questioned them with a cold expression on her face. Hearing Lei Muin's question, the 3 envoys from last time smiled coldly and said, "Why are you asking when you already know the answer? When we left last time, We clearly reminded you not to regret your actions. It seems like it was my mistake to let the three of you leave last time. Understanding their intentions, Lei Muin's face darkened and she exuded a cold aura. Sensing Lei Muin's aura, the few of them trembled and their eyes were filled with shock. Emperor Realm. They didn't expect Lei Muin's cultivation to have reached the Emperor Realm. In this way, it wouldn't be easy for them to deal with Lei Muin. Knowing Lei Muin's cultivation, the Emperor Realm expert of the Anti-Demon Alliance's attitude became friendlier. He said, Hall Master Lei, about joining the Anti-Demon Alliance, we need you to reconsider. Seeing the change in attitude, Lei Muin's expression became gentler, and she looked like she was thinking. In a chapter. Chapter 2991. I'm sorry, but I refuse to join the Anti-Demon Alliance. Please go back. Lei Muin thought for a while and made a decision. She still did not want to join the Anti-Demon Alliance. Although she had revealed her great Emperor Realm cultivation, the other party's attitude had turned for the better, and they did not dare to be like before. However, the actions of these people had left an extremely bad impression on her against the Demon Alliance. Moreover, the change in attitude of the person in front of her was because his cultivation was on par with hers. If it were another great sage, he would also be disdainful of her and would order her around. Rather than parting on bad terms, she might as well refuse to join now. Seeing Lei Muin's reply, the four people's expressions turned ugly, and they were extremely unhappy. This was especially true for the Emperor Realm expert. He looked at Lei Muin with a cold glint in his eyes. In his opinion, he had already taken a step back, but Lei Muin still knew what was good for her. However, this great Emperor Realm expert was able to keep his composure and did not show it immediately. Since Hall Master Lei is unwilling to join, we will not force you. The great Emperor Realm expert said politely to Lei Muin. He then nodded to the other three people and said, This matter is settled. We will rush back to the Alliance now. Yes. The three people immediately nodded in response. After talking to the three people, the great Emperor Realm expert thought for a while and said to Lei Muin, Hall Master Lei, if you change your mind, you can come to the Anti-Demon Alliance at any time. After the great Emperor Realm expert finished speaking, he did not wait for Lei Muin's reply and turned to leave. Seeing the great Emperor Realm expert leave, the other three people looked unhappy, but they also left with their tails between their legs. Hall Master, what if they go back and find someone to take revenge? Looking at the four people leaving, Lei Gui's expression was tense as he said this worriedly. Hearing Lei Gui's words, Mu Xiaohe's expression was tense as well. He said, The Anti-Demon Alliance is very powerful. If they take revenge, it will be very troublesome. We have to be careful. At the thought of the Anti-Demon Alliance's revenge, the expressions of Polar Snow and the others turned grave. With the strength of the true Primordium Devil Hall, it was already very difficult to guard against the Dark Devil race's attack. If the Anti-Demon Alliance came for revenge, it would be one disaster after another. Don't worry, everyone. Although the Anti-Demon Alliance is powerful, they are not unreasonable. Looking at the nervous crowd, Lei Muin smiled faintly and said some words of comfort. Besides, the Anti-Demon Alliance is just an alliance. It's not made of iron. They may not be united. After hearing Lei Muin's words, the expressions of Polar Snow and the others gradually relaxed. Following that, everyone exchanged a few more words before they all left. On the Fortune mainland, since my cultivation base has stabilized, it's time for me to leave. After stabilizing his cultivation, Emo Qingyun did not continue cultivating. His figure flashed and left. Coming out from the Fortune mainland, Emo Qingyun went to Enchen's side and asked, Enchen, while I was cultivating, did anything happen in the sect? Replying to Master, not long ago, the Anti-Demon Alliance came again. They want to force the true Primordium Devil Hall to join. Hearing Emo Qingyun's question, Enchen did not hide anything and immediately reported the situation. He said, however, Hall Master Lei revealed his cultivation base and intimidated those people. They retreated from the true Primordium Devil Hall on their own accord. Those guys from the Anti-Demon Alliance are really unwilling to give up. After learning about the situation from Inchan, Mo Qingyun frowned slightly and said, "It seems like I have to find time to pay a visit to the Anti-Demon Alliance and see what they want. Also, I have to think of a way to increase the overall strength of the true Primordium Devil Hall." Mo Qingyun muttered to himself. In his mind, he began to think of ways to help Polar Snow and the others increase their strength. Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Shun pondered for a moment and said, "Based on my observations over this period of time, I've discovered that many of the grand elders and ancestors of the true beginning Demon Hall have reached the Quasi-Emperor level. If I can find the Emperor Blood Essence Jade, I am confident that I can help them break through in an extremely short period of time." Emperor Blood Essence Jade? Mo Qingyun was stunned for a moment. He revealed a curious expression and asked, "What is the Emperor Blood Essence Jade you mentioned? What are its characteristics?" Hearing Mo Qingyun's question, Shun began to recall the characteristics of the Emperor Blood Essence Jade. After pondering for a while, Shun said to Mo Qingyun, "The Emperor Blood Essence Jade is not much different from ordinary blood crystals. However, it is formed from the blood essence of a martial Emperor expert and contains the martial Emperor expert's comprehension of the Great Tao. The elders and elders of the true Primordium Devil Hall are only lacking an opportunity to break through to the martial Emperor realm and comprehend some Great Tao concepts. If they can successfully comprehend the Great Tao concepts, their cultivation will be able to take another step forward and enter the martial Emperor realm." After listening to Chen's explanation, Mo Qingyun revealed a look of understanding and began to think of a way to obtain the Emperor Blood Essence Jade. Mo Qingyun pondered for a while, but in the end, he shook his head. He didn't have a clue. After pondering for a while, Mo Qingyun gave up and decided to ask Lei Muin. With Muin's experience, she might know about the Emperor Blood Essence Jade. With this thought in mind, Mo Qingyun's figure flashed and rushed towards the Thunder Hall. Soon, Mo Qingyun arrived at the Thunder Hall and found Lei Muin, who was making arrangements. "Qingyun, you've come out of seclusion." Seeing Mo Qingyun's arrival, Lei Muin was delighted and immediately went to welcome Mo Qingyun. In response to Lei Muin's greeting, Mo Qingyun nodded indifferently and asked, "Muin, do you know where the Emperor Blood Essence Jade can be found?" Emperor Blood Essence Jade? Hearing Mo Qingyun's question, Lei Muin was first stunned and then revealed a look of intense shock. Seeing Lei Muin's reaction, Mo Qingyun's expression changed. He guessed that she should know about the Emperor Blood Essence Jade. Shortly after, Mo Qingyun urged Lei Muin with an anxious look, "I need the Emperor Blood Essence Jade. If you know where it is, immediately tell me where it is. I once saw a rumor about the Emperor Blood Essence Jade in a book." Seeing Mo Qingyun's reaction, Lei Muin did not dare to delay and hurriedly said, "It is said that in the Genesis Blood Soul star field, there was once a sect that could extract the blood essence of Emperor Realm experts and refine it into something called the Emperor Blood Essence Jade. I wonder if it is what you are looking for?" However, because the sect's actions were too vicious, it was destroyed not long after. Hearing Lei Muin's answer, Mo Qingyun's face immediately lit up with a look of anticipation. He guessed right. Lei Muin indeed knew about it. Chapter 2992. After listening to Lei Muin's story, Mo Qingyun was both excited and worried. The sect had been destroyed, so it would be extremely difficult to find the Emperor Blood Essence Jade from it. Even if the hope is slim, it's not a bad idea to try. Mo Qingyun took a deep breath and calmed his negative emotions. He asked Lei Muin, "Where are the ruins of the sect? Can you go to the map there?" "Wait a minute, I'll look for it." Hearing Mo Qingyun's request, Lei Muin walked to a secret cabinet with a calm expression. Lei Muin raised her jade-like hand, and an ancient map flew into her hand. Immediately, Lei Muin came to Mo Qingyun with the map and said, "This is the map of the Taishur Blood Soul Starfield. Because the Taishur Blood Soul Palace was destroyed, the Taishur Blood Soul Starfield disintegrated and became a 2-star region. This is, looking at the map in his hand, Qingyun's expression was one of shock, and his eyes widened. He did not expect that the Taisher Blood Soul starfield that Lei Muin mentioned was the Blood Soul galaxy that opposed the Wood Source galaxy. This discovery shocked Qingyun. What's wrong? Is there something wrong with the map? Seeing Qingyun's excitement, Lei Muin asked Qingyun with a concerned expression. Hearing Lei Muin's question, Qingyun shook his head and said, "Nothing. I just feel that the location of the Taisher Blood Soul Palace is familiar." Oh, Lei Muin was curious. Under Lei Muin's curious gaze, Qingyun didn't hide anything. He told her honestly, "I've been to a 2-star system before. The geography of that place is just like what's on this map. It's also called the Warring Blood Soul Star System. Perhaps it's related to the Taisher Blood Soul Star System." Is that so? After listening to Qingyun's story, Lei Muin's pretty face was immediately filled with shock. She did not expect Qingyun to have such an experience. However, while Lei Muin was surprised, she was more worried. If what Qingyun said was true, then wouldn't the Taisher Blood Soul Star field be in the territory of a 2-star force? Now, the 1-star to 4-star regions were all occupied by the Dark Demon race. Qingyun going to the 2-star region meant going deep into the Dark Demon race's territory. This was undoubtedly extremely dangerous. Qingyun, it's too dangerous for you to go to the Blood Soul Galaxy. I think you should forget about it. Thinking that Qingyun might encounter great danger if he went to the Blood Soul Galaxy, Lei Muin immediately tried to persuade him. Hearing Lei Muin's persuasion, Qingyun shook his head and said, "This is a serious matter. I have to go and check it out. I won't be in danger. I'll go with you." Lei Muin was a little concerned, and her eyes were filled with anticipation. Qingyun shook his head and smiled gently at Lei Muin. "The situation is turbulent now, and the Taisher True Demon Hall needs you to guard it. You can't go with me." But hearing Qingyun's answer, Lei Muin's face immediately tensed up. However, before Lei Muin could say anything, Qingyun interrupted her. He said, "Don't worry, I'll be fine with Enchun with me. Plus, I'm only going to look for ruins, not the base of the Dark Demon race." Lei Muin's expression eased up slightly with Qingyun's words. Her worry lessened as well. In her opinion, it was not difficult for Qingyun and Enchun to protect themselves as long as they did not clash with the Dark Demon race head-on with their strength. Unless Qingyun and Enchun were extremely unlucky and just happened to run into a Saint Emperor of the Dark Demon race. Qingyun relaxed slightly when he saw that Lei Muin no longer wanted to go with him. He smiled gently at her and said, "Although the Dark Demon race is rampant right now, you can't ignore the Demon Resistance Alliance. If they insist on forcing you to join, you should listen to them while I'm in the sect. Don't clash with them head-on." "Yes, I understand." Lei Muin immediately nodded with Qingyun's words in mind. Afterwards, Qingyun gave Lei Muin some more instructions. He did not plan on wasting any more time. He said, "It's about time. I should set off too." With that, Qingyun flew out of the true Primordium Demon Hall. He left under Lei Muin's gaze. Qingyun took out the lightning shuttle after leaving the true Primordium Demon Hall. He set off for the Blood Soul Galaxy with Enchun. It doesn't matter if the Blood Soul Galaxy is in the Blood Soul Galaxy or not. I won't go for nothing. Qingyun thought about it on the way to the Blood Soul Galaxy. He felt a sense of anticipation. He said, "The 1st to 4-star regions have all been conquered by the Dark Demon race. The Wood Origin Galaxy definitely won't be spared. I hope nothing happens to Z." Qingyun muttered to himself. He drove the lightning shuttle with all his might and rushed towards the Wood Origin Galaxy. In order to save time on the road, Qingyun even condensed a Saint Power Pegasus as a substitute. Only when his Saint Power was insufficient would Qingyun use the lightning shuttle as a substitute and let Enchun control the flying shuttle. When his Saint Power recovered, he would form the Saint Power Pegasus again and rush towards the Blood Soul Galaxy at full speed. Just like that, Mo Qingyun tirelessly used 10 days to finally arrive at the Blood Soul Galaxy. When he arrived at the Blood Soul Galaxy, Mo Qingyun took out the map and compared it with the terrain before him. This is the Valley of 10,000 Blood, just like the map. This is the Black Blood Cliff, the territory of the Black Blood Bear tribe. This is the Blood Duck Palace, a one-star force with a long history. After comparing the forces before him with the map, Mo Qingyun had an answer in his heart. He guessed correctly. The Taisha Blood Soul Galaxy that Lei Muin mentioned was the Blood Soul Galaxy that he knew. Since I found the Taisha Blood Soul Galaxy, I'm not in a hurry to find the Emperor Blood Essence Jades. After confirming the location of the Taisha Blood Soul Galaxy, Mo Qingyun was no longer worried. He decided to check on Wang Zishu's situation first. He said, judging from the current situation, the Blood Soul Galaxy is completely under the control of the Dark Demon tribe. The Wood Origin Galaxy is probably the same. I hope nothing happens to Zishu. Mo Qingyun looked forward to it. He then controlled the Lightning Shuttle and rushed towards the Wood Origin Galaxy. With the Lightning Shuttle's rapid speed, Mo Qingyun quickly arrived at the Divine Wood continent and rushed towards the Divine Wood Imperial capital. The Thunder Shuttle flashed as it entered the void and came to the sky above the Divine Wood continent. When he arrived above the Divine Wood Imperial capital, Mo Qingyun's expression immediately became solemn. The worry in his heart was intense to the extreme. The Divine Wood Imperial capital was gone. It had become a messy land of ruins. End of chapter. Chapter 2993. The Divine Wood Royal Capital has indeed been destroyed. I wonder if Zishu managed to escape? Mo Qingyun wasn't surprised when he saw the ruins of the Divine Wood Royal Capital. He had already guessed this outcome. The reason why he rushed over was because he was hoping for a fluke. Now that he saw the destruction of the Divine Wood Royal Capital, the last bit of hope in his heart was completely extinguished. I wonder how the Heavenly Bull Divine sect is doing. Mo Qingyun didn't stay any longer when he saw the destruction of the Divine Wood Royal Capital. He controlled the Thunder Shuttle flying ship and headed towards the Heavenly Bull Divine sect. He thought to himself, if the Heavenly Bull Divine sect is still here, they should know where Zishu went. With this thought in mind, Mo Qingyun accelerated the Thunder Shuttle flying ship and rushed towards the Heavenly Bull Divine sect. With the Thunder Shuttle flying ship flying at full speed, Mo Qingyun only used 2 hours to arrive in the sky above the Heavenly Bull Divine Mountain. Mo Qingyun stood in the air and glanced down. He revealed a surprised smile and said, I didn't expect the Heavenly Bull Divine sect to still be intact. If that's the case, it won't be difficult to find Zishu. Mo Qingyun muttered to himself. He put away the Thunder Shuttle flying ship and flew into the Heavenly Bull Divine sect in a flash. After entering the Heavenly Bull Divine sect, Mo Qingyun saw some new faces. They seemed to have just joined the Heavenly Bull Divine sect. Who are you? Seeing Mo Qingyun's arrival, some of the disciples in charge of guarding the mountain gate immediately surrounded him. Before they could get close to Mo Qingyun, they were enveloped by a force and couldn't take half a step forward. These disciples were quite shocked when they saw this situation. Their mouths were wide open and they couldn't make a sound. After repelling those disciples, Mo Qingyun didn't stop and soon arrived at the Heavenly Bull Divine sect's conference hall. After entering the conference hall, Mo Qingyun saw a few familiar faces and walked towards them with a faint smile. Say, Qingyun. After recognizing Mo Qingyun, Huang Gang and the others in the hall widened their eyes in shock. They did not expect Mo Qingyun to suddenly return. While everyone was still in shock, they thought of Wang Zishu's situation and revealed a look of understanding. Greetings, sect master and elders. Looking at the shocked faces of Huang Gang and the others, Mo Qingyun revealed a humble expression and cupped his hands towards them. In response to Mo Qingyun's salute, Huang Gang and the others quickly raised their hands and returned the salute to Mo Qingyun. The moment Mo Qingyun entered the main hall, they could clearly feel that Mo Qingyun was no longer the same as before. Qingyun, since you have returned, you must have gone to the divine wood imperial capital. After exchanging a few pleasantries with Mo Qingyun, Huang Gang did not beat around the bush and directly told him about the current situation. The Dark Demon race suddenly launched a large-scale attack, and there were even sector lords among them. Our strength was limited, and we were unable to protect Miss Zishu. We are very sorry about this. Looking at the guilty faces of Huang Gang and the others, Mo Qingyun's expression changed slightly and revealed a tinge of nervousness. He said, "The Dark Demon race is too strong. It's not your fault. How is Zishu now?" When Mo Qingyun asked this question, his expression was clearly tense and his fists were tightly clenched. If Wang Zishu was only captured, he could still think of a way to rescue her from the Dark Demon race. But if Wang Zishu was already dead, then there was really no way. Looking at the nervous Mo Qingyun, Tai Balong's expression was solemn. He said, "Although Miss Zishu was captured, her life is not in danger, and she is imprisoned in the Blood Soul Jade Heavenly Palace. However, there are 2 sector lords in the Blood Soul Jade Heavenly Palace. It will be harder than ascending the heavens to rescue her." After hearing Tai Balong's words, Mo Qingyun's expression relaxed, and his hanging heart was finally at ease. In his opinion, since Wang Zishu was still alive, then everything would be easy. "Elder Tai Balong, where is the Blood Soul Jade Heavenly Palace? Can you lead the way?" After knowing Wang Zishu's situation, Mo Qingyun did not want to waste any time and was prepared to rescue her immediately. With regards to Mo Qingyun's request, Tai Balong and the others exchanged glances and hesitated whether they should tell Mo Qingyun or not. From the looks of it, they seemed to be worried that Mo Qingyun would rush over to rescue Zishu after knowing the location of the Blood Soul Jade Heavenly Palace. Seeing Huang Gang and the others' reaction, Mo Qingyun guessed their thoughts. He said, "You don't have to worry. It's not difficult for me to deal with a few sector lords." Mo Qingyun's words frightened Huang Gang and the others. In their eyes, universe-grade cultivators were already undefeatable existences. However, Mo Qingyun was actually saying that it was not difficult for him to deal with sector lords. These words were simply too frightening. "Qingyun, what level has your cultivation reached now?" Hearing Mo Qingyun's surprised words, Huang Gang revealed a curious expression and immediately asked. Mo Qingyun did not hide anything from Huang Gang's question. He answered truthfully, "Not long ago, I broke through to the intermediate sector Lord Realm." Intermediate sector Lord Realm. Huang Gang and the others' pupils shrank and their eyes widened. They thought they had heard wrongly. Shortly after, when they calmed down, they all took a deep breath. They knew that Mo Qingyun's cultivation speed was fast. However, even though they were mentally prepared, they were still shocked when it was so fast. Since that is the case, there is nothing to worry about. After learning of Mo Qingyun's cultivation, the worry on the faces of Huang Gang and the others immediately vanished. He said, "Coincidentally, we also need to make a trip to the Blood Soul Jade Heavenly Palace to hand in this season's offerings. Come with us." Offerings? After hearing about Huang Gang and the others, Mo Qingyun was puzzled as he glanced at them. Huang Gang and the others smiled bitterly when they sensed Mo Qingyun's puzzled gaze. "This so-called offering is the essence blood of the various races that we have collected for the Dark Devil race to fuse with their bloodline." Mo Qingyun's expression turned solemn after hearing Huang Gang's words. He felt a little overwhelmed. Huang Gang and the other sighed when they saw Mo Qingyun's reaction. "The Dark Devil race is too powerful. It is like an insurmountable mountain to us. If we had agreed, we would have been wiped out." Mo Qingyun nodded in agreement when he heard Huang Gang's words. He didn't blame them. Mo Qingyun remained silent for a while. He then said to Huang Gang and the others, "I am heading to the Blood Soul Jade Sky Palace to rescue Zishu. I might attack the Dark Devil race. If I go with you, you might be implicated. I will follow behind you alone." "That is good too." Huang Gang didn't object to Mo Qingyun's plan and nodded in agreement. Shortly after, Huang Gang and the others set off. and led the way for Mo Qingyun. Chapter 2994. A few hours later, Huang Gang and the others led the way. Mo Qingyun saw a huge blood mountain with blood jade palaces floating on top of it. Mo Qingyun immediately frowned when he saw the crimson jade palaces. He was greatly puzzled. That's strange. I've never heard of a place like this in the Blood Soul Galaxy when I was in the Wood Origin Galaxy. The taboos on these blood jade palaces are of an extremely high level. They're definitely not created by a two-star force. As Mo Qingyun thought of this, he vaguely came up with a bold guess. If he wasn't wrong, this blood jade palace might be related to the Taisher Blood Soul Palace. Let's find Zishu first. I'll deal with the other matters. Mo Qingyun's figure flashed, and he entered the blood jade palace after dismissing all the distracting thoughts in his mind. Arriving at the blood jade palace, Missouri Qingyun released his divine sense and sensed the entire palace. While Mo Qingyun was searching, he also asked Enchun to help him in order to increase the speed of his search. Enchun's divine sense was stronger than his. Under the perception of his divine sense, if Wang Zishu was really here, she would be discovered more easily. Master, I found Lady Zishu. She's in that pavilion. Enchun released his spiritual force and sensed Wang Zishu. He immediately sent a message to Mo Qingyun. Mo Qingyun lifted his head and saw a pavilion in the sky after hearing Enchun's instructions. A beginner sector lord and a few universe grades are hiding in that pavilion. Mo Qingyun released his divine sense and scanned the loft. A faint smile appeared at the corner of his mouth. Given his current strength, he didn't feel any pressure dealing with such a group of people. Of course, the lineup of these people was a force that the heavenly Bull Divine sect could only look up to. After finding Wang Zishu's hiding place, Mo Qingyun's figure flashed, and he appeared in the loft in the sky. Break! Mo Qingyun didn't hesitate to attack the defensive taboos after entering the pavilion in the sky. The defensive taboos of the pavilion in the sky were instantly destroyed by Mo Qingyun's all-out attack. Boom! 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 The moment the defensive taboos of the pavilion in the sky were broken, a loud sound was heard and attracted the attention of everyone in the Blood Soul Jade Sky Palace. Immediately, everyone flew over to see what was going on. It seems like Qingyun has made his move. When they arrived near the pavilion in the sky, Huang Gang and the others tensed up as they made their guesses. In their opinion, no one besides Mo Qingyun would dare to make a move in the Blood Soul Jade Sky Palace. After destroying the pavilion's defensive restriction, Mo Qingyun's figure flashed and entered the pavilion. Then, a familiar figure entered Mo Qingyun's eyes. Zishu, Zishu, I'm here. Looking at the familiar figure in front of him, Mo Qingyun had a look of self-blame on his face as he called out to her. When she heard Mo Qingyun's name, the beautiful figure in front trembled visibly. Then, she turned her head to look at Mo Qingyun. When she saw Mo Qingyun, her eyes became moist and she became emotional. After that, she directly threw herself into Mo Qingyun's arms while sparkling and translucent tears surged into her eyes. She said, I thought I would never see you again. I wasn't dreaming, right? Don't be silly. I'll bring you out now. Mo Qingyun gently stroked Wang Zishu's hair and smiled at her. He then turned and walked out of the pavilion in the sky. When Mo Qingyun and Wang Zishu walked out, the pavilion in the sky was already surrounded by people. Among these people, there were people from the Dark Devil clan and people who had come to offer offerings. Who is that kid? How dare he barge into the Blood Soul Jade Heavenly Palace? He's too bold. That woman is from the Divine Wood Imperial family. It seems that this kid is also from the Divine Wood Imperial family. He's willing to risk his life for a woman. This kid is also infatuated. It's a pity that they'll soon become a bunch of lovebirds. Some of the forces who had come to offer offerings looked at Mo Qingyun and Wang Zishu with pity. At this moment, while everyone was feeling sorry for Mo Qingyun, a young man from the Dark Devil clan looked at Wang Zishu with a ferocious expression. Wang Zishu, I've always treated you like a saintess and didn't dare to take advantage of you. How dare you go behind my back and try to run away with someone else's man? Since you don't want face, I'll kill this kid later and turn you into a prostitute." Hearing the young man's words, Wang Zishu's pretty face trembled and panic flashed in her eyes. Obviously, she had an instinctive fear of the young man in front of her. Seeing Wang Zishu's expression, Mo Qingyun patted her hand and said, "Don't be afraid. With me here, they won't be able to jump around." Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Wang Zishu's expression improved a little, but her expression was still tense. Qingyun, he's called Jianggu. He's the only son of Palace Master Zimui. He's very powerful and has already reached the peak of the universe realm. He's only at the peak of the universe realm. He's just an ant. Mo Qingyun smiled indifferently at Wang Zishu's reminder. He didn't put Jianggu in his eyes at all. Seeing Mo Qingyun's arrogant look, Jianggu's face darkened and a strong anger arose. "One arrogant kid. I'd like to see what kind of capital you have to be so arrogant." As Jianggu's words fell, his figure moved and attacked Mo Qingyun. Seeing Jianggu's attack, Mo Qingyun didn't move at all. He didn't even raise his hand. Scram! Mo Qingyun snorted coldly. A terrifying aura erupted from his body. Immediately after, this aura was like a berserk ferocious tiger as it bombarded towards Jiang Valley. Bang! Under the impact of Mo Qingyun's aura, Jianggu was directly sent flying and crashed into a floating palace. Under the impact of Jiang Valley, the floating palaces were instantly smashed into pieces one after another. Immediately after, Jiang Valley was like a dead dog, falling down from midair. Young Palace Master. Seeing Jianggu's miserable state, the group of people from the Dark Demon race immediately revealed nervous expressions. Following that, they flew towards Purple Flame Valley and helped Purple Sun Valley up. With the help of his subordinates, Jianggu stood up with difficulty. He looked at Mo Qingyun with a dark gaze and said, "Don't just stand there. Immediately attack together and capture this kid. Remember, don't kill him. I want to capture him alive and slowly torture him." "Yes." Hearing Jianggu's order, the group of people from the Dark Demon race immediately rushed towards Mo Qingyun. Seeing such a scene, the expressions of the surrounding people tensed up. They couldn't help but feel worried for Mo Qingyun. End of chapter. Chapter 2995. At Jiang Valley's command, a group of people from the Dark Demon clan surrounded Mo Qingyun. Seeing this, Wang Zishu's face tightened. Her beautiful eyes filled with intense worry. The aura they emitted was even stronger than Jiang Valley. Obviously, they were also universe-level warriors. "Don't worry, just a bunch of ants." Seeing Wang Zishu's tense face, Mo Qingyun smiled at her and comforted her. Hearing Mo Qingyun's comforting words, Wang Zishu's face turned for the better, but her hands were still tightly clenched. "Kill!" The group of dark demons sized up Mo Qingyun cautiously. Then they charged towards Mo Qingyun. When they charged towards Mo Qingyun, they didn't show any mercy. They all used their strongest abilities. When Mo Qingyun made his move just now, they had already seen the terrifying strength that he displayed. If they dared to show mercy, they might be killed by Mo Qingyun in one strike. Immediately after, a series of terrifying divine abilities whizzed toward Mo Qingyun. Seeing this, everyone's expression tightened. They didn't dare to make a sound. "Die!" Seeing the group attacking him, Mo Qingyun's face turned cold. He protected Wang Zishu behind him. While protecting Wang Zishu, waves of terrifying sword aura quickly condensed beside Mo Qingyun. So. The auras turned into streaks of light after they were done forming. They fired at the approaching skills. Under the attack of the sword aura, the abilities were instantly dispersed, turning into saint power and dissipating in midair. After dispersing everyone's abilities, the sword aura didn't slow down at all. It continued to attack them. Ow! How is this possible? How can he be so strong? Sector Lord level. He's a Sector Lord level warrior. Run, run. Seeing Mo Qingyun's formidable strength, the Dark Devil race's group all revealed alarmed expressions. Immediately, they didn't dare to fight with Mo Qingyun. They retreated backwards. The corners of Mo Qingyun's lips curled up slightly when he saw how the dark demons reacted. He smiled disdainfully. Do you think you can escape from me? After Mo Qingyun finished speaking, he waved his hand, controlling the sword aura to attack them. The sword aura was extremely fast. It caught up to them in the blink of an eye, piercing through their bodies. Soon after, the bodies of these people were directly blasted apart. Bang, bang, bang. In just a moment, the dark demons that attacked Mo Qingyun were all killed on the spot. Seeing this scene, everyone was stunned, their mouths wide open. Could fit a chrysanthemum. So strong, so strong. I can't believe that he's a Sector Lord level. No wonder he dared to barge into the Blood Soul Jade Heavenly Palace. So he had such a trump card. Gulp, gulp. Words of shock came out from everyone's mouth. Immediately, the way they looked at Mo Qingyun changed greatly. Not only were the others like that, Huang Gang and the others also revealed a shocked expression when they saw Mo Qingyun's strength. Although they already knew that Mo Qingyun's cultivation had reached Sector Lord level, they were still shocked when they saw Mo Qingyun's battle strength. Such terrifying battle strength had completely exceeded their understanding. After killing the dark demons, Mo Qingyun looked towards Jiang Valley and smiled faintly. You still want to capture me alive and torture me to death? You! Facing Mo Qingyun's question, Jiang Valley was so frightened that his face twitched, his eyes filled with intense shock. Mo Qingyun's strength was too strong, so strong that it exceeded his understanding. His father was also a Sector Lord, but the battle strength he displayed couldn't be compared to Mo Qingyun. Mo Qingyun didn't care about Jiang Valley's fear. His tone gradually turned cold. Seeing that you didn't harm Zishu, I'll give you a chance to kill yourself. Do it yourself. Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Jiang Valley's expression changed and cold sweat dripped down his forehead. He was the young palace master of the Blood Soul Jade Palace, the son of a Sector Lord. He wasn't willing to kill himself just like that. At this moment, just as Jiang Valley was feeling fear, a figure flew over rapidly. Seeing this figure appear, Jiang Gu's expression immediately turned joyful. He excitedly flew towards him and said, Father, quickly save me. Not long after this figure appeared, another figure emitting a terrifying aura flew over from the Blood Jade Palace. Seeing the two of them, Jiang Valley's expression relaxed, and he felt more confident. What happened? The two of them arrived in front of Jiang Valley. Zimui's face was dark as he questioned Jiang Valley. Hearing Zimui's question, Jiang Valley had a guilty expression. He pointed at Mo Qingyun and said, This kid came to the Blood Soul Jade Palace to cause trouble. I brought people to stop him, but not only did he kill 12 blood guards, he even wanted to capture me. While Jiang Valley was explaining, Zimui and Jiang Valley's gaze towards Mo Qingyun instantly turned cold. Intermediate Sector Lord Realm. Zimui frowned when he sensed Mo Qingyun's cultivation. A sliver of fear appeared in his eyes. He said, Kid, you're quite bold. You actually dared to cause trouble in my Blood Soul Jade Sky Palace. If that's the case, you can stay here. As Zimui finished speaking, he nodded to the people beside him and charged towards Mo Qingyun together. The moment Zimui and Jiang Valley's attack, they released a terrifying aura that enveloped Mo Qingyun. Seeing Zimui and Jiang Valley's attack, Jiang Valley revealed a proud smile as though he had already captured Mo Qingyun. He said, Kid, no matter how strong you are, you can only wait for death in front of Father and Jiang Valley's new uncle. Looking at the scene in front of them, the expressions of the people who were besieging them tensed up. Mo Qingyun's strength was very strong. They had just witnessed it, but they didn't think that Mo Qingyun would be able to win against Zimui and Mo Qingyun. After all, Zimui and Jiang Valley's cultivation were both at the Sector Lord realm. It would be very difficult for Mo Qingyun to win against the two of them. The two sector lords of the Blood Soul Jade Palace are here. This kid is in trouble. This kid is too arrogant. He should have left immediately after killing the Blood Guards. A supreme genius is going to fall just like that. What a pity. Everyone sighed in their hearts, thinking that Mo Qingyun was dead for sure. Hearing the words of the people around them, the expressions of Huang Gang and the others tensed up. They said, I wonder if Qingyun has the strength to contend against the two of them. I hope he has the confidence to protect himself. After Huang Gang finished speaking, his expression tensed up as he stared intently at Mo Qingyun. Under everyone's nervous gaze, Mo Qingyun smirked and began to attack Zi Muyi and Li Mu. Chapter 2996. The moment Mo Qingyun made a move, a terrifying power of law erupted from his body. The nine-bull divine sword in his hand slashed out a dazzling sword light that fused with the power of law, following which the sword light blasted towards Zi Muyi and Huang Mu, causing their expressions to change. What a powerful aura! Sensing the aura of the sword light, Zi Muyi was shocked and they dodged. However, just as they were about to dodge, a domineering power of law enveloped them, following which they discovered that their movements were restricted. After understanding their situation, Zi Muyi and Huang Mu didn't dare to delay and immediately attacked the space around them. What shocked them was that even if they used all their strength, they couldn't destroy the space around them. Seeing this situation, Zi Muyi and Huang Mu were shocked, and the shock in their eyes became even stronger. Just as the two of them were panicking, the sword light approached them and swallowed them up. No, after being attacked by the sword light, Zi Muyi and Huang Mu screamed and were sent flying. Shortly after, the two of them vomited blood, and their faces became as pale as paper. Seeing this scene, the surrounding people were stunned and they were petrified. Two sector lords joining forces were actually not a match for a single move from Mo Qingyun. In this case, what level had Mo Qingyun's true strength reached? Qingyun's strength has actually reached such a level. Seeing Mo Qingyun's strength, Huang Gang's expression immediately trembled, and he said this shocking sentence. No matter how rich his imagination was, if he didn't see it with his own eyes, he would never believe that Mo Qingyun's strength would be so strong. Defeating two sector lords with one sword, his strength is too terrifying. Defeating two sector lords with one sword so easily. I'm afraid only a quasi-emperor can do this. Could it be that his true strength is comparable to a quasi-emperor? Everyone's faces were filled with astonishment. They were completely stunned by this scene. Seeing Zi Muyi and Huang Mu being defeated in one move, the smile on Jiang Valley's face froze. This result was something he had never imagined, even in his dreams. No, this can't be real. This must be an illusion. Jiang Valley's face was filled with agitation as he hugged his head and shook it continuously. He was unable to accept the scene before him. Mo Qingyun sent Zi Muyi and the other disciple flying with a single sword strike. He flew towards Jiang Valley and said coldly, "Earlier, I gave you a chance to kill yourself. Since you aren't willing to accept it, I can only send you on your way." As Mo Qingyun's words fell, he didn't waste any more words with Jiang Valley and directly swung his sword at him. Then, a sword ray with a threatening aura slashed out from the nine-bull divine sword. Looking at the approaching sword ray, Jiang Valley was so scared that his face turned pale. He begged, Don't kill me, Pucci." Without waiting for Jiang Valley to finish speaking, the sword radiance pierced through his body, severing his life force. Soon after, Jiang Valley fell from the sky with a face full of unwillingness. Gua. Seeing that Gu had been killed, Zi Muyi's face was filled with grief and indignation. She immediately flew towards him. Then, Jiang Valley's body was borrowed. Unfortunately, his life force was already gone. "Brat, you've gone too far. I'm going to perish with you." Putting Jiang Valley's body aside, Zimu Yi's face darkened as he flew towards Mo Qingyun. Seeing Zimu Yi's actions, Zi Longxin didn't hesitate at all and also rushed towards Mo Qingyun. At this moment, Zimu Yi and the other disciples' aura was obviously colder than before. Since you're courting death, I'll send you to the grave with me. Seeing Zimu Yi and the other disciples attack, Mo Qingyun snorted coldly, and the aura he exuded was also cold. Then, Mo Qingyun's figure flashed, and he went toward the two of them. Arriving in front of Zimu Yi and the other disciple, Mo Qingyun didn't hesitate and directly slashed at them with his sword. Then, an even more threatening sword radiance blasted towards Zimu Yi and the other disciple. Facing the domineering sword radiance, Zimu Yi didn't dare to be careless and quickly defended himself. Bang bang. After blocking the sword radiance, Zimu Yi and the other disciple were hit by a terrifying force, and their bodies were sent flying. Once again, they collided with Mo Qingyun and were sent flying by Mo Qingyun. Zimu Yi and the other disciple were even more shocked. At this point, they already knew that the two of them were no match for Mo Qingyun. Zimu Yi and the other disciple understood this and didn't dare to continue fighting. They immediately retreated. Where do you think you're going? Seeing Zimu Yi and the other disciples' actions, Mo Qingyun's expression turned cold and he chased after them. Seeing Mo Qingyun chasing after them, Zimu Yi sneered and said, "Reckless brat, I think you're tired of living." After saying that, Zimu Yi flew into a valley and hid in a cave. Seeing Zimu Yi and the other disciples' actions, Mo Qingyun didn't immediately chase after them. Instead, he slashed at the mountain peak. Boom! Under Mo Qingyun's slash, the mountain peak immediately shook violently and huge rocks collapsed. In the blink of an eye, nearly half of the huge blood crystal mountain had collapsed. Zimu Yi and the other disciple who were hiding in the mountain peak flew out one after another. However, when they looked at Mo Qingyun, there was no fear or panic in their eyes. Before Mo Qingyun could attack them again, Mo Qingyun saw a figure coming out of the cave. Great Emperor Realm Expert. Sensing the aura of the figure, Mo Qingyun was shocked, and a trace of shock appeared in his eyes. He didn't expect that a great Emperor Realm Expert would come from such a small blood soul galaxy. Shortly after, a trace of doubt appeared in Mo Qingyun's heart. He was curious as to why this was happening. In his opinion, it was already very abnormal for two sector lords to come to a small two-star region. Now that there was another great Emperor Realm Expert, it wasn't just abnormal, it was strange. Mo Qingyun pondered for a moment. The corners of his eyes narrowed as he guessed a possibility. He thought to himself, could it be that they're here for the same reason as me? They're here to search for the sovereign blood essence jade of the Genesis Blood Soul Palace? When this thought appeared in his mind, Mo Qingyun nodded in understanding. He felt that everything was very reasonable. Great Emperor Realm Expert, this kid's strength is strange. Please capture and kill him. Zimu Yi and the other disciple cupped their fists respectfully and asked for instructions when they saw the great Emperor Realm Expert. The Emperor Realm Powerhouse turned his head to look at Mo Qingyun when he heard their conversation. When he looked at Mo Qingyun, he released his great Emperor might and changed the surrounding power of laws. Chapter 2997. Kid, your performance really surprised this old man. The Emperor Realm Expert stared coldly at Mo Qingyun and said in a surprised tone, "A mere intermediate sector lord possesses strength comparable to an Emperor Realm Expert. This is the first time I've seen a monstrous genius like you." Zimu Yi and Huang Gang's eyes widened when they heard the Emperor Realm Expert's words. They originally thought that Mo Qingyun's strength was only comparable to a quasi-Emperor Realm Expert. They didn't expect him to reach the Emperor Realm. Although it was just a difference of one word, the difference was completely different. Surprised, Mo Qingyun chuckled and shook his head. He said, "My performance later won't just surprise you, it'll terrify you." As soon as Mo Qingyun finished speaking, His figure flashed as he took the initiative to attack the Emperor Realm Expert. Seeing Mo Qingyun's performance, the surrounding people were stunned. They were so scared that their backs were drenched in cold sweat. They didn't dare to believe that Mo Qingyun dared to take the initiative to attack an Emperor Realm Expert. Is that kid crazy? That's an Emperor Realm Expert. Could it be that he has the confidence to fight against a martial Emperor Expert? Are you crazy too? Intermediate Sector Lord Realm. Combat Emperor Realm. Is that possible? It doesn't matter if he can win or not. We can't afford to offend someone like him. He's too crazy. Everyone was shocked when they saw Mo Qingyun's actions, but more than that, they were wary. Huang Gang and the others tensed up when they saw Mo Qingyun's expression. They were extremely worried. I didn't expect the first Emperor Realm Expert to be hidden in the Blood Soul Jade Heavenly Palace. We were careless this time. I hope nothing happens to Qingyun. Huang Gang and the others were shocked by Mo Qingyun's strength, but they didn't have the slightest confidence that Mo Qingyun would be able to fight an Emperor Realm Expert. Huang Gang and the others watched nervously as Mo Qingyun and the Emperor Realm Expert fought. While they were worried, Mo Qingyun flashed and appeared in front of the Emperor Realm Expert. The Emperor Realm Expert wasn't afraid of Mo Qingyun's attack. He took the initiative to meet Mo Qingyun. Kid, you're brave, but you're too naive. An Emperor Realm Expert isn't someone you can fight. 10,000 finger destruction. The Emperor Realm Expert from the Dark Devil race roared and pointed at Mo Qingyun. A terrifying Saint Power burst out. Saint Power surged out like an ocean wave and turned into rays of Saint Power finger light that shot towards Mo Qingyun. Bang, bang, bang. Wherever the finger light passed, there would be a loud explosion and cracks would appear in the space. Seeing such a scene, the surrounding people held their breaths, their faces filled with fear. Even Zi Muyi and the other two who were at the back were so frightened that they kept retreating. While everyone was frightened and retreating, Mo Qingyun did not retreat in the slightest. He continued to charge forward. Sword force, rise. Facing the incoming finger light, Mo Qingyun formed rays of sword force outside his body. Once the sword force was formed, it shot toward the finger light and collided violently with it. Bang, bang, bang. The finger light and sword force collided, creating a series of loud bangs and Saint Power storms. Under the impact of the Saint Power storms, the shattered space around them began to collapse. Immediately after, a terrifying spatial devouring power erupted from the spatial black hole. Mo Qingyun didn't dare to be careless. He immediately rode the Pegasus to avoid the attack. Mo Qingyun's figure flashed, disappearing from his original spot and appearing behind the Great Emperor. Emperor Realm Expert, watch out. Master Zixiang, he's behind you. Seeing Mo Qingyun appear, Zi Muyi and Huang Gang, who were fighting in the distance, shouted anxiously. Hearing Zi Muyi and Huang Gang's shouts, Zixiang's face twitched. He immediately turned his head. The moment Zi Xiao turned his head, Mo Qingyun swung his sword at him, creating a sharp sword light. What a sharp sword! Seeing Mo Qingyun's attack, Zixiang's face trembled. He felt a chill down his spine. He could sense that the might of Mo Qingyun's sword strike was enough to threaten his life. While Zixiang was shocked, he didn't hesitate. He immediately pointed his finger at the sword light. There was a black hole behind him. He couldn't dodge and could only take Mo Qingyun's attack head-on. Sky-piercing finger. Zixiang pointed his finger and a terrifying Saint Power erupted. It turned into a huge finger light. The finger power blasted out and collided with the Nine Bulls sword light. What shocked everyone was that when the finger light and the sword light collided, there was no Saint Power fluctuation. Just as everyone was feeling puzzled, the sword beam pierced through the finger beam in a strange way. After that, the sword ray continued to shoot towards Zi Ruo without any decrease in its power. How? How could this be? Looking at this abnormal scene, Zixiang's old face twitched and his eyes widened. To him, the situation in front of him was too strange. Puff! Without waiting for Zidan to recover from his shock, the sword light blasted onto his body, and a terrifying force exploded out. After being hit by the sword light, Zixiang was sent flying into the black hole. He was swallowed by the black hole. No. Feeling the black hole devouring him, Zixiang was scared out of his wits. His face twisted in horror. Then, he used all of his strength to try and break free from the black hole's devouring. With all his strength, he suppressed the black hole's devouring power and began to fly out of the black hole. Seeing that Zixiang was about to escape, Mo Qingyun's face turned cold and said, "Since you're already in, don't come out." As soon as Mo Qingyun finished speaking, he slapped Zixiang with his palm and blasted out a terrifying power of the law. Immediately, the space in front of Zixiang was confined by the power of the law. The space in front of him was forcibly sealed, and Zixiang's escape route was forcibly cut off. Without a way to escape, the black hole's devouring power that enveloped him began to strengthen rapidly. After a short while, he could not resist the devouring power of the black hole and was forcefully dragged into it. As Zixiang was dragged into the black hole slowly shrunk and finally disappeared completely. Seeing such a scene, everyone sucked in a breath of cold air, unable to recover for a long time. A great Emperor Realm powerhouse was actually dealt with by Mo Qingyun just like that. If they had not seen it with their own eyes, they would not have believed it. Such an outcome was beyond common sense to any of them. Chapter 2998. That Emperor Realm expert was defeated by Mo Qingyun. I didn't expect that even an Emperor Realm expert wouldn't be a match for him. His strength is too terrifying. Is he really at the intermediate sector Lord Realm? Is this kid really from the Divine Wood Continent? When did such a genius appear in the Divine Wood Continent? In an instant, everyone was puzzled and curious about Mo Qingyun's origins. In their opinion, given Mo Qingyun's monstrous talent, it was impossible for him to be unknown. After seeing Mo Qingyun's performance, the thoughts of Huang Gang and the others were not much different from the rest. I didn't expect that we would still underestimate Qingyun and his cultivation talent. Huang Gang couldn't help but sigh when he saw that Mo Qingyun could even defeat an Emperor Realm expert. In just a few years, he broke through from the Celestial Domain grade to the Sector Lord Realm. His combat strength has surpassed ordinary Emperor Realm experts. His cultivation talent is too terrifying. Listening to Huang Gang's words, Tai Ba Long and the others' expressions changed as they sighed. Tai Ba Long sighed. I didn't expect that such a genius would come from the Heavenly Bull Divine sect. This is unbelievable. He didn't come from the Heavenly Bull Divine sect. He came from a continent that doesn't even have a star grade. Another old man emphasized. Tai Ba Long and the others fell silent when they heard the old man's words. They didn't know what to say. Compared to the shock of the onlookers, Zi Muyi and Zi Luo were undoubtedly filled with intense fear. They truly did not expect that even Zixiang personally taking action was dealt with by Mo Qingyun. No, impossible. How can he be a match for Elder Zi Su with his cultivation? Zi Muyi revealed a crazed expression when he recalled that Zixiang was an Emperor Realm expert. He couldn't accept this outcome. Although Zi Longxin didn't say anything, he probably had the same thoughts as Zi Muyi based on his shocked expression. Looking at the agitated Zi Muyi and Mo Qingyun's expression was cold. He slowly walked towards them and said, "Now I want to ask you, do I still want to die?" You. Zi Muyi was speechless when he heard Mo Qingyun's question. He was so angry that his face turned ashen. Mo Qingyun snorted coldly when he saw that Zi Muyi was speechless. He didn't want to waste any more time talking to him. "Since you have nothing to say, I'll send you on your way." After Mo Qingyun said that, his silhouette flickered and he dashed towards Zi Muyi and Zi Mu. Seeing Mo Qingyun's attack, Zi Muyi and Mo Qingyun's expressions trembled and they immediately exchanged a look. Without any hesitation, they immediately turned around and fled into the distance. Seeing the two's actions, Mo Qingyun snorted coldly and chased after them on his holy power Pegasus. Mo Qingyun's figure flickered. When he reappeared, he was already in front of Zi Muyi and Mo Qingyun. Zi Muyi shrank back in pain when he saw that their escape route was blocked. He looked terrified. Mo Qingyun's movement speed was too fast. With their flying speed, it was impossible for them to escape from Mo Qingyun. Boy, it won't do you any good to go against the Dark Devil tribe. Seeing that he had no hope of escaping, Zimu suppressed the fear in his heart and warned Mo Qingyun. Although we offended your girlfriend before, we paid a price for it. We even lost a great emperor. How about we forget about our enmity? As soon as Zimu finished speaking, Zi Longxin's face darkened. He said arrogantly, "Little brat, the 4-star regions have already been occupied by my clan. If you try to kill us, we'll immediately send a message to my clan. At that time, you could just wait to be hunted down by my clan." After Zimu and the other man finished speaking, he revealed a nervous expression and waited for Mo Qingyun's reply. Although they were confident that ordinary people wouldn't make a move against them in such a situation. However, they didn't have the slightest bit of confidence when facing Mo Qingyun. They couldn't figure out what Mo Qingyun was thinking. There was nothing they could do about it. During the battle, just now, they had already discovered that Mo Qingyun wasn't afraid of the Dark Devil race at all. Mo Qingyun's face darkened. If it was any other tribe, I could accept it. However, it's impossible for the Dark Devil tribe to do that. You should give up and die peacefully under my sword. Mo Qingyun didn't waste any more words with them. He immediately slashed his sword at them. Then, a sword ray with a threatening aura shot out from the 9-bull divine sword. No, seeing Mo Qingyun's action, Zi Muyi and the other man were shocked. Their eyes were filled with intense fear. This was because they discovered that their movements had been forcefully restrained by another force. Puff! Under the shocked gazes of Zi Muyi and the young man, the sword light closed in on them and slammed into their bodies. Zi Muyi and the other man were immediately blasted apart by the domineering sword light. Soon after, their life auras completely vanished. Seeing Mo Qingyun's domineering action, the surrounding people were shocked and looked at each other. Zi Muyi and the other man are dead. What about our offerings? It seems that the Dark Devil tribe's stronghold is going to be destroyed. Let's leave first. We don't want to get into trouble. Let's go. Seeing that Zi Muyi and the other man were killed, the surrounding people immediately left. They didn't dare to stay any longer. Sect leader, let's leave too. Seeing that the other forces had left, Huang Gang and the others didn't want to stay any longer and left with the others. Mo Qingyun didn't come with them because he didn't want to be associated with them. If they stayed, it would waste Mo Qingyun's efforts. Mo Qingyun didn't care about their departure. He looked at the bloody mountain where Zi Xiang had come from. There must be something unusual about Zi Xiang and the other man staying here. Mo Qingyun frowned when he thought about the unusual appearance of Zi Xiang and the other man. He was trying to guess their intentions. Then he took out the map that Lei Muin had given him and compared it with the current situation. After looking at the map, Mo Qingyun was shocked and his body trembled in excitement. He didn't expect that the Blood Soul Jade Sky Palace was located at the same location as the Taisha Blood Soul Palace. It seems that my previous guess was right. After confirming the current location, Mo Qingyun had a clear answer to his previous guess. Zi Xiang and the other man were indeed here for the Emperor Blood Essence Jade. End of chapter. Chapter 2999. Given Zi Xiang's status, he shouldn't be in an ordinary bloody mountain peak. It seems like there's something wrong with that bloody mountain peak. Mo Qingyun looked around and noticed that something was amiss. With a flash, he flew to the blood color mountain where Zi Xiang was hiding. When he arrived above the bloody mountain peak, Mo Qingyun immediately swung his sword towards the mountain peak without hesitation. Pung! As Mo Qingyun swung his sword, the blood-colored mountain was immediately split open and a passageway appeared. When he saw the passageway, Mo Qingyun's figure flashed and he flew in. After entering the passageway, Mo Qingyun appeared in front of him. It had been there for a very long time. Some of the formation taboos that had been set up had also shown signs of collapsing due to the passage of time. Apart from that, Mo Qingyun also saw that there were obvious signs of an intense battle in the passageway. This passageway was definitely not set up by the Blood Soul Jade Heavenly Palace. It should have been left behind by the Taisher Blood Soul Palace. When he saw the situation in the passageway, Mo Qingyun became even more certain of his guess. Then, Mo Qingyun quickly walked into the passageway without stopping. The deeper he went into the passageway, the more Mo Qingyun realized that the formation taboos in the passageway were extraordinary. The grade of these formation taboos has already reached the level of a level 8 sacred array. Mo Qingyun was shocked as he looked at the formation taboos before him that were emitting terrifying fluctuations of formation energy. Even if a great Emperor Realm expert entered the level 8 holy array by mistake, he would still have a slim chance of survival. The Blood Soul Jade Heavenly Palace was originally a 2-star force. How could they have set up such formation taboos? The reason was self-evident. When he realized this, Mo Qingyun's face was filled with anticipation. Then, he quickened his pace and carefully passed through the formation taboos. "Who's there?" After Mo Qingyun walked for a while, a cold voice was suddenly heard in front of him. Hearing these words, Mo Qingyun's expression shook, and a look of intense shock appeared on his face. He did not expect that there would be someone else in this bloody place. With this discovery, Mo Qingyun raised his guard and released his divine sense to scan the area ahead. 3 quasi-emperors. Mo Qingyun used his divine sense to check the front. After confirming the number of people and their cultivation, his expression relaxed a little. Given his current strength, it would not be difficult to deal with 3 quasi-emperors. Now that he knew the depth of the other party's strength, Mo Qingyun no longer concealed himself and walked towards them at a leisurely pace. When the 3 of them saw Mo Qingyun's arrival, their expressions all tensed up. They sized up Mo Qingyun with fear in their eyes. Intermediate Sector Lord Realm. Sensing Mo Qingyun's cultivation level, the 3 of them relaxed a little, and their eyes revealed a trace of disdain. An old man in a golden robe walked out from the group of 3. He stared coldly at Mo Qingyun and said, "Kid, who are you? Why are you here?" Mo Qingyun did not care about the other party's cold question. Instead, he asked them back, "Who are the 3 of you? Why are you here? What is your relationship with the Dark Devil race?" Mo Qingyun sensed that the 3 of them did not have any complicated bloodline aura. They should not be from the Dark Devil race. Since they were not from the Dark Devil race, Mo Qingyun did not want to make things difficult for them. After all, he was not a bloodthirsty person. In a situation where he had no enmity with others, he did not like to kill. Hearing Mo Qingyun's question, the 3 of them were stunned and could not help but look at each other. It seems like this kid is not from the Dark Devil race. How did he come here? There was an intense battle outside just now. It seems like he sneaked in during the chaos. It's not up to us to care about this. Let's not meddle in other people's business and chase him out. That's good. Otherwise, when that old dog Zi Xiang comes back, he will be unhappy with the 3 of us. After hearing Mo Qingyun's question, the 3 of them conversed for a while before coming to a decision. The old man from before walked out again and stared coldly at Mo Qingyun. "Kid, we don't have time to chat with you. Leave this place immediately, and we will treat it as if you were never here." As soon as the old man said that, a terrifying aura exuded from the 3 of them. What a powerful array power fluctuation. These 3 are all sacred array masters. Mo Qingyun was startled when he sensed the aura fluctuation of the 3 people. Then, realization dawned on his face. It seems like the 3 of them have appeared here because they were captured by Zi Xiang to help him break the restriction of the array formation. When Mo Qingyun understood this, a faint smile appeared at the corner of his mouth as he made a decision. Given his attainments in array formations, it would not be easy to break the array formation in the passageway. If he had the help of these 3 people, it would be much easier. The 3 of you are grade 8 sacred array masters? Under the cold gazes of the three people, Mo Qingyun did not leave. Instead, he smiled faintly and said, "If I'm not wrong, the three of you were captured by Zi Xiang to break the restriction of the array formation here, right?" When they heard Mo Qingyun's question, the three of them were shocked and whispered to each other. The three of them exchanged a few words before an old man walked forward with a cold and displeased expression. He said, "Since you already know, then why don't you leave this place immediately? Otherwise, once Elder Zi Quan returns, it will be impossible for you to leave even if you want to." "Leave? I won't leave." Mo Qingyun did not care about the three people's threats at all. He smiled faintly and said, "However, I'm afraid Zi Xiang won't be coming back, let alone chasing me away." "What do you mean by that?" The three of them were puzzled as they did not understand Mo Qingyun's meaning. Under their puzzled gazes, Mo Qingyun still smiled faintly and said, "Because not long ago, Zi Xiang was sent to the outer space by me. As for whether he is still alive, that will depend on his luck." "What? You sent Zi Xiang to the outer space? Just based on your intermediate sector Lord cultivation? You're really boasting shamelessly. Don't waste your breath on this kid. Since he isn't willing to leave, then let's kick him out." When they saw Mo Qingyun was still unwilling to leave, the three of them lost their patience and attacked Mo Qingyun together. Soon, strange and profound hand seals were formed by the three of them. When these hand seals were formed, they struck the restriction of the array formation in the surroundings and produced a shocking fluctuation of array energy. When he saw this, Mo Qingyun was shocked, and his eyes were filled with intense shock. After that, Mo Qingyun raised his vigilance and prepared to fight the three of them. He was very clear that from the current situation, it was impossible to get the three of them to help him without using his fists. In a chapter, Chapter 3000. Let me see the strength of a quasi-8th grade Saint Array Master. Mo Qingyun's expression turned solemn as a shocking wave of Saint power erupted from his body. Immediately after, a huge Saint power Pegasus formed beneath Mo Qingyun. Mo Qingyun rode the sacred power Pegasus. With a flash, he disappeared from where he stood. Seeing that Mo Qingyun had disappeared, the three of them no longer had a target to attack. Their expressions immediately became tense. The methods that Mo Qingyun displayed gave them a feeling that was too bizarre. "Where did that kid go? Why can't I sense his presence?" The formation has been activated. With his intermediate sector Lord cultivation, it's impossible for him to leave the formation silently. This kid can hide from Purple Xiang's senses and come here silently. This means that he has some extraordinary abilities. We can't be careless. Seeing Mo Qingyun disappear, the trio tensed up and released their divine sense to sense the surroundings. While the three of them were sensing, a slightly thin figure appeared behind them. Slash! Arriving behind them, Mo Qingyun didn't hesitate and immediately swung his sword at them. Immediately after, the nine-bull divine sword flashed and a sharp sword ray blasted out. As the sword ray neared, the trio immediately felt a bone-chilling intent behind them. "Oh no, he really left the formation. He's right behind us." Sensing Mo Qingyun's presence, the three of them cried out in alarm and turned their heads to look behind them. Seeing the sword ray rapidly nearing, the trio trembled in fear and quickly defended against the sword ray. As the three of them made their moves, mysterious saint inscriptions formed one after another in front of them. These saint runes gathered together and formed a simple formation that emitted a wave of formation energy. Pucci. Facing the simple formation's defense, the sword ray didn't stop at all and directly pierced through it. Seeing that their defense wasn't effective at all, the trio was instantly scared silly. Soon after, they even forgot to put up the most basic resistance. Bang, bang, bang. The three of them gave up on resisting, and the sword light slammed into their bodies, sending them flying. The three of them flew back for a short distance before crashing into the wall of the passageway, causing them to feel dizzy. Immediately after, The trio spat out mouthfuls of blood as their breathing became chaotic and their faces turned pale. This was after Mo Qingyun showed mercy. Otherwise, they might not even be able to stand up. After sending the trio flying, Mo Qingyun didn't attack again and walked towards them with a faint smile. After witnessing Mo Qingyun's strength, the trio immediately put on a cautious look when they saw Mo Qingyun approaching. Although they only exchanged one blow, they already knew that they weren't Mo Qingyun's match. Mo Qingyun's technique was too strained for the trio. "Guys, can I discuss something with you?" Mo Qingyun asked with a faint smile on his face as he walked up to the group of people. Seeing that Mo Qingyun didn't attack, the trio's expressions relaxed a little, but they still asked with vigilance, "Sir, what do you want us to do? If it's within our abilities, we'll do our best to help you." Hearing the old man's words, Mo Qingyun nodded in satisfaction. These three were quite sensible. Seeing the attitude of the three old men, Mo Qingyun didn't beat around the bush and directly stated his intentions. He said, "What I want you to do is very simple for you. Just help me break the formation restriction in front of me." The trio was dumbfounded when they heard Mo Qingyun's request. They thought they had misheard. Could this be considered a request for the three of them? The three of them came here to help Zi Xiang break the formation restriction. Even if he didn't ask them to do it, they would still do it. Mo Qingyun didn't pay them any mind when he saw their shocked expressions. He spoke to them again. "Although heat is also a taboo to break the formation, you're obeying a different person. You're no longer obeying Zi Xiang. Instead, you're obeying me. Listen to all my orders." The three of them looked at each other, not understanding what Mo Qingyun meant. The three of them were silent for a while. Then, one of the elders stood up and said, "My friend, although you're powerful, the three of us are no match for you. We have no choice but to listen to your orders. But breaking the formation restriction isn't something that can be done in a short time. If you continue to stay here, if Zi Xiang comes back here, it'll be too late for you to leave." Hearing this, the other two nodded in agreement. Seeing the trio's reaction, Mo Qingyun's expression softened. He knew that they meant well. Then, Mo Qingyun smiled at the three of them and said nonchalantly, "You don't have to worry about this. Zi Xiang will never come back. However, you've reminded me. If the dark demons can't contact Zi Xiang, they'll send someone else. I should prepare." After Mo Qingyun finished speaking, he revealed a thoughtful expression. He was thinking about how to deal with the other dark demons. Seeing Mo Qingyun's reaction, the three of them whispered to each other. Looking at him, it seems like he's not lying. The strength he displayed just now has reached the Great Emperor realm. He has the ability to fight against great emperors. This means that Zi Xiang has really been banished to the outer space. This method is too terrifying. No matter what, this young man is strangely powerful. It's best not to provoke him. The three of them discussed for a while and decided to listen to Mo Qingyun's orders. Then, the three of them stopped thinking and sat down to recover from their injuries. Seeing that the three of them were recovering, Mo Qingyun didn't disturb them. He looked at the formations around him. These formations are of a very high level. If we use them, we should be able to stop the dark demons for a while. At this moment, Mo Qingyun couldn't help but think of the situation when he fought against ZK and the others in the Wufa ancestors' tomb. Back then, he'd used the formations to stop ZK and the others by himself. He hadn't been able to enter the Wufa ancestors' tomb for a long time. Now his strength had improved, and he had the help of Enchun and the others. If he used these formations to break through, no one would be able to enter the tunnel unless it was a dark demon Saint Emperor. Once they've recovered, we'll activate these formations first and then slowly break through them. Mo Qingyun made up his mind. They sat down and waited for the three of them to finish recovering. About a few hours later, the three of them finished their cultivation. The injuries they had sustained earlier had all healed up. Seeing that the three of them had recovered, Mo Qingyun looked at them and prepared to tell them to attack. Chapter 3001. The three of you follow me, and activate all the restrictions in the passage. Mo Qingyun arrived in front of the three of them and ordered them to seal off the passageway. Hearing Mo Qingyun's order, the three of them were bewildered, not understanding Mo Qingyun's meaning. "Young master, if the passage is sealed, how are we going to get out?" One of them asked in confusion. Hearing this person's question, the other two were also puzzled, but they had the same thought in their minds. Before the three people's puzzled gazes, Mo Qingyun explained solemnly, "The three of you said that it will take a long time to break the restrictions in the passage. I sent Xiong into the void space, and the Dark Devil race can't contact him. They will definitely send people here again, so I have to take precautions. At that time, even if they discover us with these restrictions, we could delay them for a while and not be caught off guard." After hearing Mo Qingyun's explanation, the three people revealed a look of understanding Mo Qingyun's meaning. Based on the current situation, it was indeed necessary for Mo Qingyun to prepare for a rainy day. Then, the three people did not ask any more questions and began to activate the restrictions in the passage. As the three people moved backward, the restrictions were activated one after another, exuding shocking fluctuations of energy. A few hours later, all the formations and taboos in the passageway made the three of them excited. Some of the broken restrictions were repaired by them, showing their terrifying power once again. Since the restrictions have been activated, you three can continue to break the restrictions. Seeing that everything was ready, Mo Qingyun ordered the three people to continue breaking the remaining restrictions. Hearing Mo Qingyun's order, the three people did not hesitate and immediately went to break the remaining restrictions. While the three of them went to break the restrictions, Mo Qingyun did not stay any longer. In a flicker, he entered the Fortune mainland. Sensing that Mo Qingyun had suddenly disappeared, the three of them trembled and panic flashed in their eyes. One of them exclaimed, "This young master's methods are truly unfathomable. This place is enveloped by so many formations and restrictions, yet he was able to disappear without anyone noticing." Hearing this person's words, the other two revealed fearful expressions. One of them said, "Don't worry about that, young master. Let's break the formation as soon as possible. Once we're done with this mission, we can leave this place as soon as possible. Otherwise, when the Dark Demon race comes, they will vent their anger on us. We don't have that young master's methods." After the three of them discussed for a while, they abandoned all distracting thoughts and threw themselves into breaking the formation. On the Fortune mainland, Mo Qingyun's figure flashed and appeared beside Wang Zishu and the others. When they were dealing with Zi Muyi and the others, Mo Qingyun was worried that Wang Zishu would be injured, so he had sent her to the Fortune mainland. When Wang Zishu arrived at the Fortune mainland, she immediately joined Yu Wuyo and the others, chatting happily. "Qingyun, you're here." Seeing Mo Qingyun's arrival, all the women's faces lit up with joy, and they hurried to welcome Mo Qingyun. Mo Qingyun walked to a stone bench and sat down under the women's greeting. There was a hint of displeasure in his eyes as he looked at Wang Zishu. "The Dark Demon race is invading. Why didn't you send me a voice transmission? Also, why didn't you send me a voice transmission when you were captured by the Violet Sun Valley?" Before Mo Qingyun left the Divine Wood mainland, he had given Wang Zishu a communication jade talisman, telling her to contact him if she was in danger. But Wang Zishu did not do so, which made Mo Qingyun very unhappy. Seeing that Mo Qingyun was really angry, Wang Zishu lowered her head guiltily, revealing a wronged expression as she said, "The Dark Demon race that came to invade the Divine Wood mainland is too strong. I was worried that even if you came back, you wouldn't be their opponent and would fall into danger instead. That's why I didn't dare to contact you. I thought that it would be better for me to die alone than to die with everyone else." Wang Zishu's answer made Mo Qingyun's heart ache, and his gaze became gentler. Wang Zishu's reason for doing so was entirely for his sake, so he couldn't blame her anymore. Looking at Wang Zishu with a gentler gaze, Mo Qingyun also felt some self-blame, thinking to himself, I've long thought about helping them improve their strength, but I haven't done it. If they were all great emperors, even if they couldn't resist the dark demon race's invasion, it shouldn't be difficult for them to escape. Mo Qingyun thought in his heart, and looked at the women with an apologetic gaze, saying, I can't blame you for this. It's all because I'm not strong enough to protect you. There won't be a next time. Seeing Mo Qingyun's change in attitude, the women's eyes reddened, and they were deeply moved. They knew very well that Mo Qingyun was behaving this way because Mo Qingyun cared about them. Seeing that the atmosphere was a little awkward, the understanding when Zhaodi smiled faintly at everyone and said, This matter is already in the past. Don't dwell on it anymore. Just be careful next time. The atmosphere immediately eased after Wen Zhaodi's words, and they all began to change the topic. Thinking of the current situation, Yi Wuyo frowned and said, Since the dark demon race has invaded, we can't stay on the Divine Wood continent any longer. Where should we go next? Do you have any plans? I'll take you to the absolute beginning star field. Mo Qingyun explained his plan to them when he heard Yi Wuyo's question. He said, Although the absolute beginning demon hall isn't a peak 5-star force and can't face off against the dark demon race head-on, it won't be easy for the dark demon race to invade the absolute beginning demon hall. Moreover, if we can obtain the Emperor Blood Essence Jade, the absolute beginning demon hall strength will rise greatly, entering a higher realm. Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, the worries in everyone's heart lessened significantly. After comforting the women, Mo Qingyun did not stop talking. He said to the others, Also, I will seize the time to look for treasures to change your cultivation talent, so that you can break through to the Emperor realm as soon as possible and have the ability to protect yourselves in this endless star field. We will also work hard to cultivate and won't drag you down. The women nodded their heads with determination. Seeing the women's determination, Mo Qingyun did not say much and began to guide them in their cultivation. After guiding the women's cultivation for a while, Mo Qingyun went to find Mo Hongtian to ask about the situation in the Divine Wood continent. After learning that everything was going smoothly, Mo Qingyun left the Fortune mainland and returned to the passage. He couldn't be sure when the dark demon race would come, so he had to be vigilant at all times. Therefore, he couldn't stay on the Fortune mainland for too long. He had to stay in the passage to guard against the dark demon race. End of this chapter. Chapter 3002. They still need some time to break the formation restriction. I can't just sit and wait. Looking at the 3 people in front of him, Mo Qingyun started to think about how to improve his strength. With my current situation, it's not unrealistic to improve my cultivation in a short time. Moreover, if I want to improve my cultivation, I have to enter the Fortune continent to hunt Grand Spirits. It's impossible at the moment. As for improving formations, bloodline, and physique, it's also impossible. It requires a great opportunity. It seems that I can only start from the aspect of divine abilities. I have to learn or strengthen a divine ability. Mo Qingyun thought for a while and had a direction. He knew what to do next. Even if the various divine abilities I have mastered are strengthened, their power won't change much. Mo Qingyun thought for a while and gave up the idea of strengthening his divine abilities. He decided to cultivate a new divine ability. He thought to himself, Enchantment is from the heaven realm. He should know some powerful divine abilities. I wonder if there are any suitable ones for me. When this thought appeared in his mind, Mo Qingyun summoned Enchun and prepared to ask him for advice on a divine ability. Soon, Enchun appeared beside Mo Qingyun and waited for Mo Qingyun's orders. Mo Qingyun asked, Enchun, do you have any divine abilities that are suitable for me to cultivate now? Hearing Mo Qingyun's question, Enchun frowned and began to think. Enchun was silent for a moment. Then he said to Mo Qingyun, Master, I have a set of sword techniques that are suitable for you to cultivate now. Oh, Mo Qingyun was curious. He looked at Enchun expectantly and said, What kind of sword technique? Tell me immediately. Yes. Enchun nodded. Then, Enchun condensed a mark and hid it between Mo Qingyun's eyebrows. The mark entered Mo Qingyun's forehead, and the contents of the technique appeared in Mo Qingyun's mind. 9 Darkness Sword Technique. After reading the sword technique in his mind, Mo Qingyun had a general understanding of its situation. According to the description of the sword technique, this 9 deadly shadow swords should be a type of assassination sword technique. Mo Qingyun noticed this and frowned. He was puzzled and said, "I usually like to fight head-on. This kind of assassination sword technique shouldn't be suitable for me to cultivate, right?" And Shun seemed to have expected that Mo Qingyun would have such doubts after reading the sword technique's incantation. As a result, he was not surprised by Mo Qingyun's actions at all. He explained to Mo Qingyun very naturally, "Master, you don't know. This sword technique is indeed like what you said to ordinary people, but your situation is different." Mo Qingyun was puzzled, and Shun didn't stop talking and continued to explain to Mo Qingyun, "You've cultivated the Pegasus Realm Leap, so you can easily hide your body. It's the most suitable for you to cultivate this sword technique." After hearing Chen's words, Mo Qingyun showed a look of understanding. The doubts in his heart were solved. When he used the Pegasus Realm Leap, it was equivalent to entering a state of concealment. Although this state lasted for a very short time, it was enough for him to use the 9 Darkness sword technique and launch a sneak attack on the enemy. In this way, this sword technique, 9 Absolute Shadow swords, was indeed very suitable for him. Seeing that Mo Qingyun understood, and Shun didn't stop talking and continued to say to him, "Other than this 9 Darkness sword technique, I have another divine ability that's more suitable for you to cultivate now." "What divine ability?" Mo Qingyun looked curious and asked expectantly. Chen didn't answer. He condensed another handprint and sent it into Mo Qingyun's mind. Tyrant Dragon's Sky-Shattering Technique. After digesting the memory in his mind, Mo Qingyun also comprehended the second divine ability's cultivation chant. The style of this Tyrant Dragon's Sky-Shattering Fist was completely opposite to the 9 Darkness sword technique. It was a kind of charging and breaking through enemy lines. The fighting style was the most primitive head-on confrontation without the slightest fanciness or skill. In addition, the cultivation requirements of the Tyrant Dragon's Sky-Shattering Fist were also extremely harsh. If one wanted to cultivate the Tyrant Dragon's Sky-Shattering Fist, one must have a terrifying physique. Otherwise, if one forced himself to cultivate the Tyrant Dragon's Sky-Shattering Fist, he would only destroy his body. However, Mo Qingyun didn't have the slightest concern or worry about this. Compared to the 9 Darkness sword technique, this Tyrant Dragon's Sky-Shattering Fist is more suitable for me. After reading the chant of the Tyrant Dragon's Sky-Shattering Fist, Mo Qingyun showed a satisfied smile and muttered to himself with a faint smile. Then, he no longer hesitated and prepared to cultivate the 2 skills. First, I'll cultivate the 9 Darkness sword technique. I'll take my time with the Tyrant Dragon's Sky-Shattering Fist. Although Mo Qingyun preferred the Tyrant Dragon's Sky-Shattering Fist, the 9 Darkness sword technique was better in terms of attack power. If Mo Qingyun could use it properly, he could even kill a great Emperor Realm expert with a single strike of his sword. In addition, Mo Qingyun now grasped the opportunity very well. Even if it was a great sage expert, Mo Qingyun could make him suffer a little. The 9 Darkness sword technique has a total of 3 levels, divided into Split Shadow, Overlapping Shadow, and Dark Shadow. After studying the 9 Absolute Shadow swords for a while, Mo Qingyun no longer hesitated and immediately began to cultivate it. Mo Qingyun raised his hand, and the 9 Bull Divine sword fell into his hand and entered a mysterious state. Then, Mo Qingyun waved his right hand and blasted out a mysterious sword light. After the sword light blasted out, Mo Qingyun's figures separated and became 2 of him. If someone who was not familiar with Mo Qingyun saw the 2 figures, they would definitely not be able to distinguish the real one from the fake. Yeah, The cultivation method of the Nine Darkness Sword technique is a little similar to the slash of the Nine Heavens gods and demons. Mo Qingyun had this discovery, and a faint smile appeared at the corner of his mouth. He recalled the comprehension of the cultivation of the slash of the Nine Heavens gods and demons. Mo Qingyun thought in his mind, and his comprehension of the Nine Darkness Sword technique immediately became more thorough. Then, Mo Qingyun waved his sword again, and the figures separated again. This time, the number of identities that Mo Qingyun separated had reached as many as 5. 5. Seeing Mo Qingyun's performance, and Chun, who was watching from the side, was immediately shocked. Mo Qingyun's progress had really frightened him. He said in surprise, "Master's cultivation comprehension is really too terrifying. Even some geniuses in the heaven realm would need at least a few days to reach the level of 5 shadows if they wanted to cultivate the Nine Darkness Sword technique." At this moment, while Chun was shocked, Mo Qingyun waved his sword again. This time, the number of identities that he separated directly reached as many as 7. Seeing such a scene, Chun was stunned and his emotions were extremely complicated. Chapter 3003. Master's talent is truly terrifying to be able to create 7 clones after just 2 rounds of practice. Chun was stunned for a moment. Then, he revealed a rueful expression and exclaimed in surprise. While Chun was still in shock, Mo Qingyun slowly opened his eyes and withdrew from comprehending the sword technique. The cultivation method of the 9 absolute shadow swords is indeed very similar to the 9 heavens gods and devil slash. Recalling the situation of the practice just now, Mo Qingyun understood a little more in his heart. His previous guess had an answer. Immediately, Mo Qingyun stopped thinking about it and instructed Chun, "Soon, the dark devil race may attack. At that time, I may need your help. Don't cultivate in seclusion for the time being." "Yes." Hearing Mo Qingyun's instructions, Chun immediately nodded in response. After instructing Chun, Mo Qingyun raised his hand and sent him to the Fortune Continent. After Chun was sent to the Fortune Continent, Mo Qingyun's movements didn't stop and he immersed himself in cultivation again. When Mo Qingyun swung his sword again, the number of doppelgangers he created actually reached as many as 8. If Chun was here, he would definitely be shocked again. Originally, he thought that 7 times wasn't Mo Qingyun's limit. 8 times seems to be my limit. If I want to reach 9 times, I need to practice again. After discovering that his comprehension of the 9 absolute shadow swords had reached a limit, Mo Qingyun understood in his heart and said, "It seems that the comprehension of the 9 heavens gods and devils slash can't be copied and used to cultivate the 9 absolute shadow swords." After understanding this point, Mo Qingyun abandoned the distracting thoughts in his mind and began to practice the sword technique again. Mo Qingyun's comprehension of the 9 absolute shadow swords had reached a whole new level as he swung his sword again and again. Subsequently, the power he displayed every time he waved his sword began to become stronger and stronger. At this rate, I'll be able to reach the level of 9 shadows in a few days. Seeing his cultivation speed, Mo Qingyun's face lit up with joy, and he worked even harder in his cultivation. Time always passed very quickly during cultivation. In the blink of an eye, several days had passed. After these few days of cultivation, Mo Qingyun's comprehension of the 9 absolute shadow swords reached a new level again. When he swung his sword to attack, he could already create 9 clones. At this moment, while Mo Qingyun was practicing his swordsmanship, the 3 people who had broken the array came over. After a few days of trying their best to break the formations, the 3 of them had finally broken all the formations in front of them. When the 3 of them arrived near Mo Qingyun and saw Mo Qingyun practicing the sword technique, their eyes immediately widened in shock. What? What kind of sword technique is that? This kind of power is too terrifying. I'm afraid even great emperors wouldn't dare to take his sword head on. Looking at his current actions, It seems like he's learning this sword technique and hasn't mastered it long ago. He's only at the beginner stage, and the power of his sword technique is already so strong. If he cultivates it to perfection, it'll be even more amazing. Seeing the power of Mo Qingyun's sword technique, the three of them were stunned, and their faces were filled with shock. While the three of them were still in shock, Mo Qingyun sensed their arrival and looked over at them. Master, we've already broken the restriction formation in front of us. Seeing the power that Mo Qingyun displayed, the three of them immediately became more respectful towards Mo Qingyun. It's already broken. It's at least a few days earlier than I expected. Hearing the three of them report, Mo Qingyun's face lit up with joy, and his eyes were filled with excitement. Mo Qingyun thought for a while, then nodded at the three of them and said, "It's been hard on you these few days. Let's go over now." Hearing Mo Qingyun's orders, the three of them hesitated and seemed unwilling. Mo Qingyun was a little displeased by the three's behavior, and a doubtful expression appeared on his face. The three of them were behaving in such a way that was simply too abnormal. Mo Qingyun could not help but wonder if the three of them had set up some kind of trap ahead. Seeing Mo Qingyun's displeasure, the three of them knew that Mo Qingyun had misunderstood. One of them hurriedly explained, "Master, please don't think too much. We just want to ask you, now that the restriction formation has been broken, can you let us go?" Mo Qingyun's expression did not change when he heard the three of them. He said coldly, "It's not that I can't let you go, but at least wait until I enter and get what I want." The three of them looked at each other with a sliver of reluctance. Mo Qingyun's reply made them look at one another. However, due to Mo Qingyun's terrifying strength, the three of them exchanged glances and nodded in agreement. "Lead the way." After telling the three of them what he wanted, Mo Qingyun did not want to delay and immediately signaled to them. Immediately, the three of them led the way and went deep into the passage with Mo Qingyun. Mo Qingyun was not careless at all as they went deep into the passage. He was very careful along the way. Mo Qingyun only let down his guard when they reached the bottom of the passage, and there was nothing out of the ordinary. Standing at the bottom of the passageway, Mo Qingyun saw a huge altar with some ancient array formations revolving around it. Apart from that, there was a strange instrument at the most important part of the altar. "What is this?" Mo Qingyun frowned curiously when he saw the strange instrument at the center of the altar. Seeing Mo Qingyun's reaction, an old man walked over to Mo Qingyun's side and said, "Master, this is the blood-refining pivot of the Taisher Blood Soul Palace. The Taisher Blood Soul Palace refined the blood of martial emperors and refined the martial emperor blood essence jade through it." Blood-refining pivot? After listening to the old man's explanation, Mo Qingyun looked at the blood-refining pivot with even more curiosity. It was the first time he had seen and heard of such a strange magic weapon. After introducing the blood-refining pivot to Mo Qingyun, the old man did not stop talking. He pointed at the altar in front of them and said, "Master, the formation of this altar has been broken. We can only destroy it with brute force. We were worried that the blood-refining pivot would be damaged when we destroyed it, so we let you handle it yourself." "Okay." Mo Qingyun glanced at the altar and found that the formation on it was just as the old man had said. With such a result, Mo Qingyun did not hesitate and immediately punched the altar. Immediately, a shocking wave of saint power blasted out from Mo Qingyun's fist. Under the bombardment of Mo Qingyun's fist, the formation outside the altar exploded in an instant, creating a terrifying storm of formation power. When he saw this scene, Mo Qingyun's figure flashed, and he slashed his sword towards the storm of saint energy. Under Mo Qingyun's sword, the violent storm of saint power was directly dispersed. After dispersing the storm of saint power, Mo Qingyun did not stop and continued to walk up the altar. End of chapter. Chapter 3004. To be able to disperse that kind of saint power storm, young master's sword is so powerful. It's even stronger than before. It's enough to kill an ordinary Emperor realm expert. It seems that young master has the strength to kill Zixiang. He wasn't bluffing before. Seeing Mo Qingyun disperse the Saint Power Storm with one sword, the three elders standing to the side were all in awe. Under the three people's awestruck gazes, Mo Qingyun came to the altar and stood beside the blood-refining spiritual pivot. The structure of the blood-refining spiritual pivot was very complicated. At first glance, it looked a little like an engine with countless rotating shafts inside. But upon closer inspection, one would find that it was many times more complicated than an engine. What a strange thing. After observing the blood-refining spiritual pivot for a while, Mo Qingyun frowned and became even more curious about it. He thought that he wouldn't be able to find a treasure like the blood-refining spiritual pivot even if he searched all the star domains. After observing the blood-refining spiritual pivot, Mo Qingyun stopped thinking about it and said to himself, the blood-refining spiritual pivot is used to refine blood essence. I wonder if there are any remaining Emperor Blood Essence Jades inside. With this thought, Mo Qingyun began to search the blood-refining spiritual pivot for any Emperor Blood Essence Jades. Clatter! After searching for a while, Mo Qingyun found 5 pieces of blood-red essence jades in a small secret groove. Seeing the 5 pieces of blood-red essence jades, Mo Qingyun was overjoyed and said excitedly, "Are these 5 pieces of blood-red essence jades the Emperor Blood Essence Jades?" At this moment, while Mo Qingyun was guessing, the 3 onlookers all looked excited. Emperor Blood Essence Jades. I didn't expect there to be 5 complete Emperor Blood Essence Jades in the blood-refining spiritual pivot. No wonder the Dark Demon race sent people to excavate the altar of the Taisher Blood Soul Palace. It's for the Emperor Blood Essence Jades. I think it's not just the Emperor Blood Essence Jades. Their real purpose here is probably the blood-refining spiritual pivot. It must be so. If the blood-refining spiritual pivot falls into their hands, the consequences will be unimaginable. After talking for a while, their expressions became heavy as they thought of a possible result. With the Dark Demon race's talent and means, if they got the blood-refining spiritual pivot, they might already have Emperor Realm experts. If that was the case, it would definitely be a disaster for all the sects in the myriad heavens and realms. Fortunately, Young Master acted in time and foiled the Dark Demon's plan. Young Master, that one action of yours has indirectly saved the myriad of worlds. Seeing the blood of the Blood Jades, the 3 were all excited to see the Emperor of the Heavens of God. Of the blood, of the spiritual pivot of the blood, of blood, spiritual blood jest. Of the Emperor of the blood, spiritual, of the divine. Besides, the blood-refining spiritual pivot is already broken. Even if the Dark Demon race obtains it, it won't be of any use. As Mo Qingyun spoke, he took out a jade bottle and carefully put away the Emperor Blood Essence Jade. With 5 pieces of Emperor Blood Essence Jades in his hand, Mo Qingyun smiled with satisfaction. He was very satisfied with this harvest. What should we do with this? Looking at the blood-refining spiritual pivot in front of him, Mo Qingyun hesitated for a moment before putting it into the Fortune mainland. This magic treasure is very strange. I'll put it away first and study it later. Maybe it has some uses. With this thought in mind, Mo Qingyun raised his hand and put away the blood-refining spiritual pivot. After putting away the blood-refining spiritual pivot, Mo Qingyun didn't want to stay any longer. He walked down from the altar and said, "Since we've gotten the thing, there's no point in staying any longer. Let's leave this place immediately." "Yes." The 3 elders answered and followed behind Mo Qingyun. As they walked out of the passage with Mo Qingyun, the 3 elders exchanged a glance. The old man from before said, "Young master, since our mission is completed, can you let us go?" Hearing the 3 elders' question, Mo Qingyun pondered for a moment before saying, "Based on your attainments and formations, I would like to invite you to join my sect. Of course, if you're not willing, I won't force you." Mo Qingyun's words caused the 3 elders' expressions to tighten. Worry was written all over their faces. Judging from their expressions, they seemed to think that Mo Qingyun was unwilling to let them go. The three elders pondered for a moment before mustering up their courage and said, "Young master, thank you for your appreciation, but please forgive us for not being able to join your sect. Since it's like this, please do as you wish." Mo Qingyun revealed a regretful expression when he heard the three elders' answer, but he did not stop them. He said, "The Dark Devil race did not attack. Deactivate these formations and we'll leave this place." "Yes." Hearing Mo Qingyun's command, the three elders immediately deactivated the formations. Looking at their expressions, they could not wait to deactivate the formations and leave this passage. Boom! At this moment, when the three elders deactivated the formations, the mountain suddenly shook. Seeing this, Mo Qingyun and the others were shocked. They guessed a possibility. The Dark Devil race had arrived. Not good. The Dark Devil race is here. What should we do now? They're guarding outside. If we go out, it's the same as sending ourselves to their doorstep. But if we don't go out, won't we become turtles in a jar? Seeing the situation they were in, the three of them revealed worried expressions, showing intense worry. Compared to the three elders in front of him, Mo Qingyun was much calmer. He did not show the slightest bit of panic. On the contrary, now that the Dark Devil race had arrived, Mo Qingyun was filled with fighting spirit. He had just cultivated the Dark Shadow 9 swords and needed some sparring partners. The Dark Devil race had come at the right time. Although Mo Qingyun was filled with fighting spirit, he did not rush out recklessly. He immediately said to the three elders in front of him, "Deactivate the formations first. I'll go and test their strength. If the conditions permit, I'll bring all of you with me." "Yes. Thank you, young master." Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, the three elders were pleasantly surprised. In his opinion, the only person who could save them now was Mo Qingyun. If Mo Qingyun did not save them, they would fall into the hands of the Dark Devil race. Even if they could survive, they would become their slaves again. Mo Qingyun instructed the three elders. His figure flashed and disappeared in front of them. When Mo Qingyun's figure appeared again, he was at the front of the passage. He carefully observed the situation in front of him. A great sage expert and three ordinary great emperors. Thanks to Mo Qingyun's probing, he now had a clear understanding of the Dark Devil race. After knowing the strength of the Dark Devil race, Mo Qingyun's expression relaxed. It was still within his ability to deal with them. End of chapter. Chapter 3005. Boom, boom, boom. While Mo Qingyun was observing the situation, the other party launched another attack, bombarding the mountain. Under the bombardment of the Dark Devil clan, the mountain shook violently as if it was about to collapse from their bombardment. Mo Qingyun didn't care about this situation. His figure flashed and disappeared on the spot. Whoosh! When Mo Qingyun reappeared, he was already beside the three of them. "Young master, how is the strength of the Dark Devil race? Can we kill our way out?" Seeing Mo Qingyun return, one of them looked nervous and immediately asked Mo Qingyun. Hearing this person's question, Mo Qingyun calmly shook his head and said, "The Dark Devil race is much stronger than I expected. They are led by a great sage expert and three ordinary great emperors. With our current strength, we will be under a lot of pressure if we fight them head-on." When Mo Qingyun's words came out, the three of them were all dumbfounded. Despair appeared on their faces. "It's over. It's really over. We're dead for sure. Just three great emperors are already not something we can fight against. I didn't expect there to be a great sage expert. Let's give up resisting, open the formation, and surrender." After knowing the strength of the other party, the three of them lost their fighting spirit and only wanted to surrender. Mo Qingyun wasn't surprised by the three's reaction and didn't feel the slightest bit of emotion. If he was in the same situation as the three of them, he would definitely feel despair in his heart. After all, in terms of cultivation, the gap between them and the Dark Devil race was a little too big. Although the three of them had lost their fighting spirit, Mo Qingyun didn't give up. He looked at them with a serious face and said, Although the other party is stronger than I expected, it doesn't mean we can't deal with them. Next, the three of you listen to my instructions. If everything goes smoothly, I have the confidence to defeat them." Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, the three of them were first surprised and then doubtful. They had seen Mo Qingyun's strength. However, they did not believe that Mo Qingyun was strong enough to fight against the Dark Devil clan. Mo Qingyun did not care about their doubtful attitudes. He directly instructed the three of them, "Go open the formation restriction at the entrance and let them enter the tunnel. After they come in, you guys activate the forbidden formation and shut the door on them." Hearing Mo Qingyun's orders, the three of them hesitated, considering whether or not they should listen to Mo Qingyun. Seeing their reactions, Mo Qingyun was displeased. There was a hint of anger in his voice. "Don't forget that the reason why I stayed behind and fought against the dark demons was to find a way to take you away. If you're not willing to listen to me, then pretend I didn't say anything. I'll leave right now. As for whether the three of you live or die, that'll depend on your luck." Seeing that Mo Qingyun was angry, the three of them immediately panicked. They hurriedly begged Mo Qingyun, "Sir, please don't be angry. We didn't know how to appreciate your kindness. We'll listen to all your instructions. We'll go open the formation restriction right now." After the three of them spoke, they did not dare to delay at all and immediately walked towards the tunnel. Seeing their actions, Mo Qingyun showed a satisfied expression and walked towards the entrance of the passage with them. Soon, Mo Qingyun's group of 4 arrived at the tunnel entrance. The three of them opened the formation restriction at the entrance. As the formation restriction was opened, Mo Qingyun's group of 4 appeared before the Dark Devil clan. At the same time, the group of Dark Devil clan that attacked the three of them also entered Mo Qingyun's line of sight. "It's him." Seeing the Dark Devil clan's great saint expert, Mo Qingyun was shocked. He recognized him. When Mo Qingyun recognized him, the other party also recognized him. With an angry expression, he shouted, "Mo Qingyun, it's you again. You've come to ruin our clan's business." "Great Saint Zishao, long time no see. How have you been?" Mo Qingyun did not care about Zishao's anger at all and greeted him. Seeing Mo Qingyun's calm appearance, Zishao's face was ashen and his expression was tense. In his opinion, if Mo Qingyun appeared here, Lame Yuan and the others might also be nearby. Back in the Purple Heaven Holy Land, they had been defeated by Mo Qingyun even though they had an absolute advantage. At this moment, the number of people on his side was far less than the last time. Therefore, he had to be careful in case he fell into Mo Qingyun's trap again. Seeing Zishao and Mo Qingyun's behavior, the 3 people at the side were all stunned and looked at Mo Qingyun in shock. He really did not expect that Mo Qingyun and Zishao actually knew each other. It seemed that they had even fought once or twice. Under the shocked gazes of the 3 people, Mo Qingyun looked at Zishao with a faint smile and said, "Zishao, last time in the Purple Heaven Holy Land, I let you escape with your tail between your legs. I was worried about finding you, but I didn't expect you to take the initiative to come to me. You can't blame me for this." As soon as Mo Qingyun finished speaking, he moved and took the initiative to charge at Zishao. "Retreat quickly." Seeing Mo Qingyun's attack, Zishao's expression tensed up, and he immediately reminded the people around him. Hearing Zishao's words, the group of people around him immediately retreated. Such a situation really surprised Mo Qingyun. It was something he hadn't expected before. In his opinion, Zishao should be very angry after seeing him. Now that he had taken the initiative to come out, Zishao should immediately attack him in his rage. In the end, seeing that he had taken the initiative to attack, Zishao led his people to retreat. This was really too abnormal. Mo Qingyun was puzzled, and the 3 Sacred Array Masters watching from behind were even more puzzled. The Dark Demon Clan seems to be very afraid of Master. That seems to be the case. In this case, won't we be saved? Don't be careless. Those people only retreated and were not scared away. The reason they retreated is probably to test Master's strength. Therefore, they don't dare to act rashly. The three people analyzed, and their expressions tensed up again. After leading his people to retreat, Zi Zhao's face was tense. He looked around and said, Mo Qingyun, tell your people to come out. Don't hide anymore. My people are hiding? After hearing Zi Zhao's words, Mo Qingyun was first stunned, then understanding dawned on him. It turned out that Zi Zhao had retreated in fear because he was worried that someone was lying in ambush nearby and would launch a fatal sneak attack. Mo Qingyun understood this, and a faint smile appeared on his lips. Zi Zhao, I didn't expect you to become so alert after not seeing you for a while. What if I don't tell them to come out? Chapter 3006. Looking at Mo Qingyun, Zi Zhao's expression tightened and the fear in his heart grew stronger. The more relaxed Mo Qingyun appeared, the more he didn't dare to act rashly. His fear of Mo Qingyun grew stronger. Seeing that Zi Zhao didn't give the order to attack, the great emperors beside him were dissatisfied. Great sage Zi Zhao, this brat is just a sector lord. Why are you so afraid of him? With our strength, even if he has people lying in ambush, what could he do to us? Great sage Zi Zhao, you're getting more and more cowardly. Just watch us attack. The three great emperors grumbled for a while before charging towards Mo Qingyun. Seeing their actions, Zi Zhao was furious. He revealed a nervous expression and said, The three of you, stop. That brat's methods are very strange. It's not as simple as you think. When Zi Zhao shouted at the three of them, he also flew towards them. He was afraid that they would be in danger. Zi Zhao's nervous expression made the three of them look down on him even more. As far as they were concerned, as a great Saint Realm expert, Zi Zhao had actually been terrified to such an extent by a junior at the World Lord realm. It was truly too embarrassing. It's actually the three of them. They even disobeyed Zi Zhao's order. Interesting. The corners of Mo Qingyun's mouth curled into a faint smile as he looked at the three people who were attacking him. The mocking expression on his face became even more pronounced. Immediately, Mo Qingyun's figure flashed and immediately flew towards the tunnel. When Mo Qingyun flew back, he pretended to be panicked and shouted at the three people in the passageway. Our bluff has failed. Hurry up and close the formation restriction. Don't let them enter the passageway. As Mo Qingyun shouted, he also transmitted a message to the three of them. He told them to wait for the Dark Devil race to enter the tunnel before closing the formation. Did you see that? That brat saw us approaching and ran away in fear. I thought he was very powerful. So that's all he's capable of. Great sage Zi Zhao is too cowardly. He was actually frightened by that brat. Upon seeing Mo Qingyun's behavior, the three Emperor Realm powerhouses from the Dark Demon race immediately mocked him. At the same time, their disdain for Zi Zhao became even stronger. Oh no, we've been tricked. Seeing Mo Qingyun's performance, the uneasiness in Zi Zhao's heart immediately became even stronger. Based on his understanding of Mo Qingyun and Mo Qingyun's temperament, there was no way he would do something like this. In that case, Mo Qingyun's abnormal behavior was definitely a trap that he had set up. Zi Zhao understood this point. He shouted at the three people in front of him, Hurry up and stop. That guy is pretending to be weak. Don't fall into his trap. Follow him into the tunnel. As soon as Zi Zhao finished speaking, his flying speed immediately increased by a few notches. The three great emperors from the Dark Demon clan smiled disdainfully when they heard Zi Zhao's words. As for Zi Zhao's warning and dissuasion, they completely ignored it and directly followed Mo Qingyun into the tunnel. As soon as the three of them entered the tunnel, Zi Zhao saw that the tunnel's formation was stirred up again. Oh no! Seeing that the formation in the tunnel was stirred up again, Zi Zhao felt a sense of uneasiness. Immediately, Zi Zhao didn't dare to be negligent and immediately attacked the formation restriction. Boom, boom, boom. Under Zi Zhao's frenzied bombardment, loud sounds could be heard from outside the passageway. At the same time, under Zi Zhao's crazy attacks, the formation restriction's light began to dim bit by bit. Oh no, that great saint is too strong. The formation restriction won't be able to hold him off for long. Seeing that the formation restriction's light had dimmed, an old Saint Array master exclaimed worriedly. Hearing his worried words, Mo Qingyun smiled faintly and shook his head. Don't worry. Before he breaks the formation restriction, I have enough time to deal with these 3 people. As soon as Mo Qingyun finished speaking, his figure flashed and disappeared from his spot. When Mo Qingyun's figure reappeared, he held the divine sword of 9 bulls in his hand and slashed at one of them. Be careful! Sensing Mo Qingyun's aura, the 3 of them trembled, and a wisp of shock appeared on their faces. They could clearly feel that the aura of Mo Qingyun's sword had already threatened them. At this moment, they gradually understood why Zishao was so wary of Mo Qingyun. The strength that Mo Qingyun had displayed was indeed a little abnormal. When the 3 great emperors of the Dark Demon tribe attacked at the same time, an aura that surpassed Zhiao's suddenly appeared behind them. Sensing this terrifying aura, the 3 great emperors of the Dark Demon tribe immediately turned pale with fright. Great Emperor Realm Expert. There's a Great Emperor Realm Expert lying in ambush here. Oh no, we've been tricked. We were wrong. We shouldn't have disobeyed Supreme Sage Zishao. What a cunning fellow. Sensing the Supreme Sage's aura, the 3 great emperors of the Dark Demon tribe looked regretful. However, they were great emperors after all. Even though they were caught off guard, they quickly regained their composure. Humph! Even if you've ambushed us, it won't be that easy to injure us. After the 3 great emperors of the Dark Demon tribe regained their composure, they started to retaliate. As they were wary of Enchen's strength, 2 of them went to block Enchen, while the other went to deal with Mo Qingyun. Dark Punishment Execution. When the great emperor charged at Mo Qingyun, a huge saber appeared in his hand, and he slashed at Mo Qingyun. Then, a saber light that could swallow mountains and rivers shot out from his giant saber. Immediately, the saber radiance blocked the sword radiance and dispersed it. You've overestimated yourself. After easily dispelling Mo Qingyun's attack, the great emperor of the Dark Demon tribe revealed a look of disdain. Seeing the great emperor's reaction, Mo Qingyun smiled faintly and disappeared in a flash. The great emperor of the Dark Demon tribe did not think much about Mo Qingyun's disappearance. In his opinion, Mo Qingyun's disappearance should have been due to him hiding in a formation restriction. After that, he charged towards Dark Dawn to assist his 2 clansmen. At that moment, when he turned around to help his tribesmen, many figures appeared in front of him. Mo Qingyun's sudden appearance immediately frightened him, and his eyelids kept twitching. This was because he realized that 10 Mo Qingyun had appeared in front of him and were slashing at him with their swords. What shocked him even more was that he could not tell which one was the real one and did not know how to block the attack. Poof, poof, poof. While the great emperor was in a daze, the sword radiance pierced through his body and destroyed his life force. After that, his eyes opened wide as he perished while carrying a strand of unwillingness. Chapter 3007. That great emperor was killed by young master in one strike. He's so strong. If I hadn't seen it with my own eyes, I wouldn't have believed it. No wonder the great saint from the Dark Demon tribe was so afraid of young master. The 3 Saint Array masters were shocked to see a great emperor expert killed by Mo Qingyun's sword. From Mo Qingyun's previous performance, they could see that Mo Qingyun was very strong. However, they didn't know exactly how strong Mo Qingyun was. Now, however, they were completely aware. Mo Qingyun's strength had far exceeded their expectations. While the 3 Saint Array masters were shocked, they were also secretly delighted. Now that Mo Qingyun had killed one of the 3 great emperors from the Dark Demon tribe, their situation had taken a turn for the better. With Mo Qingyun's shocking strength, facing 2 ordinary great emperors alone wasn't much of a problem. As for Zishao, he could leave it to Enchun to deal with. In this way, the outcome of the battle would be unknown. Oh no, Ziguan has been killed. That kid is so strong. We've been fooled. What a despicable kid. He actually used such a sinister method. Seeing their comrade killed, the remaining two great emperors from the Dark Demon tribe panicked. With their strength, they definitely couldn't contend against Mo Qingyun and Enchun. Immediately after, they looked at Mo Qingyun with intense fear in their eyes. At the same time, a strong sense of regret emerged in their hearts. If they had listened to Zi Xiao and not rashly chased after Mo Qingyun, they wouldn't be in such a situation. Boom! While the two great emperors from the Dark Demon tribe were afraid, a deafening sound came from behind them. Immediately, they saw Zi Xiao's figure appear not far behind them. Supreme Saint Zi Xiao. Seeing Zi Xiao break the formation and come to their rescue, the two great emperors from the Dark Demon tribe were pleasantly surprised. In their opinion, with Zi Xiao's help, their crisis was resolved. You broke the formation so quickly. Looks like you've improved a lot recently. Seeing Zi Xiao break the formation, Mo Qingyun's eyes flashed with surprise. He looked at Zi Xiao with a faint smile. Hearing Mo Qingyun's faint smile, Zi Xiao's face darkened. Humph! No matter how cunning you are, the same move won't have any effect on this old man. Is that so? Mo Qingyun grinned, pointing at Aster's corpse. You're a little late. Not long ago, I killed someone. Looking in the direction Mo Qingyun was pointing, Zi Xiao saw Aster's corpse, and his face turned ashen. Although the Dark Devil race was very powerful, it was still a great loss to lose a great Emperor Realm expert. Moreover, close to 10 great emperors from the Dark Demon tribe had died at Mo Qingyun's hands. Thinking of this, Zi Xiao was so angry that his body trembled. Retreat. Although he was furious, Zi Xiao did not lose his rationality. He immediately ordered the two great emperors beside him. He knew Mo Qingyun's methods. With their strength, they would not be able to suppress Mo Qingyun. Besides, Mo Qingyun had too many tricks up his sleeves. He might have other tricks up his sleeve. Yes. After seeing Mo Qingyun's ability, the remaining two great emperors from the Dark Demon tribe immediately retreated from the passage with Zi Xiao. At this moment, they did not dare to doubt Zi Xiao's words. They had paid a heavy price for their previous doubts. They've retreated. Seeing Zi Xiao and the other two great emperors leave, the three Saint Array masters were overjoyed and excited. One of them stepped forward and walked to Mo Qingyun's side. Mr. Mo, they've left. What should we do now? They've suffered a lot this time. They'll definitely call for reinforcements. We have to leave immediately. After analyzing the situation, Mo Qingyun made a decision. He wasn't willing to stay here any longer. Hearing Mo Qingyun's idea, one of the Saint Array masters was puzzled. Master, we have the advantage of the passage's formation. We can suppress them. If we leave the passage, won't we be giving up our advantage? Besides, won't they stop us if they know we're leaving? Mo Qingyun had a solemn expression when he heard the old man's question. He said, of course they will. However, even if they try to stop us, we still have to leave. If we don't leave now, we'll really be trapped once their reinforcements arrive. With that, Mo Qingyun did not want to waste any more time. He immediately walked out of the passage. The three Saint Array masters dared not hesitate when they saw Mo Qingyun's actions. They immediately followed behind Mo Qingyun. Kill! After emerging from the passage, Mo Qingyun directly charged towards Zi Xiao and the others with a flash. And Shen moved as well when he saw Mo Qingyun's actions. He attacked together with Mo Qingyun. When Mo Qingyun and the other two took the initiative to attack, Zi Xiao and the other two were so frightened that they panicked and retreated with fear. As he knew how difficult Mo Qingyun was to deal with, Zi Xiao did not dare to attack recklessly before he understood Mo Qingyun. Zi Xiao, you really are becoming more and more cowardly. Mo Qingyun smiled scornfully when he saw the three of them retreat. He shook his head at him and said, since you don't want to fight, I won't keep you company. As soon as Mo Qingyun finished speaking, he took out the Thunder Shuttle flying boat and prepared to control it to leave. The three Saint Array masters panicked when they saw Mo Qingyun's actions. They became anxious. If they did not attack, Mo Qingyun and the others would leave. If they let Mo Qingyun leave, it would be difficult to find him again. Most importantly, it was very likely that the blood-refining spiritual pivot they were looking for was on Mo Qingyun. However, even if they tried to stop him, they might not be Mo Qingyun's opponent. It was just too difficult to make a choice. As Zishao hesitated, the lightning shuttle flew 10,000 meters away with a flash of light. Crack, crack, crack. As he watched Mo Qingyun and the others leave, Zishao was so angry that he clenched his fists tightly. However, after hesitating for a long while, he gave up on the chase. He did not dare to take the slightest risk. Supreme Saint Zishao, are we really going to let him leave like this? An emperor from the Dark Demon race asked in confusion when Zishao did not give the order to pursue. Hearing his question, Zishao sighed and nodded. You just fought with Mo Qingyun, so you should know what he's capable of. Do you think we'll be able to stop them if we rush up? The two of them shook their heads and reluctantly accepted this fact. Although they did not want to admit it, they had to admit that they were not Mo Qingyun's opponent. Chapter 3008. They don't seem to be chasing after us. The three Saint Array masters on the lightning shuttle gradually relaxed when they saw that Zishao and the rest weren't chasing after them. Mo Qingyun's expression turned solemn when he saw their expressions. He said to the three of them, "Don't be careless. We are still in the Dark Devil race's territory and haven't entered the 5-star region yet. We can't let our guard down." Upon hearing Mo Qingyun's words, the expressions of the three Sacred Array masters tensed up again. Currently, the Dark Devil race was in control of the 1 to 4-star regions. Mo Qingyun and the rest were in the hinterland of the Dark Devil race. Their situation was self-evident. "Young master, will they send people to intercept us along the way?" One of the Saint Array masters asked Mo Qingyun worriedly after he heard Mo Qingyun's reminder. Mo Qingyun replied with a grave expression, "I'm not sure if they will send people to intercept you, but they will definitely send people to intercept me." The three of them were shocked when they heard Mo Qingyun's words. Their eyes widened in shock. At the same time, they were curious to know why Mo Qingyun said that. Mo Qingyun didn't bother to explain the confusion in their hearts. With a calm expression, he said, "Now, I'll give you a choice. The first is to separate from me and find a way to escape the pursuit of the dark demons. The second is to join my sect, and I'll take you with me to escape. Of course, in the process of escaping with me, you may encounter many pursuers, dangers, and encirclements. However, since you have joined my sect, I will do my best to protect you." As Mo Qingyun spoke, he calmly looked at the three of them and waited for their reply. Although the three of them had helped him break the restriction on the blood-colored mountain peak, they had given him a lot of help. But he had saved the three of them and was repaying them for their help. Therefore, Mo Qingyun had no obligation to continue fleeing with them. Hearing Mo Qingyun's question, the three of them trembled and a trace of panic appeared on their faces. The three of them knew very well what their situation would be like without Mo Qingyun's protection. However, they felt that it was difficult for them to join the true absolute beginning Devil Palace. However, they were also very clear that they could not have their cake and eat it too. If they did not join the true beginning Devil Palace, Missouri Qingyun had no obligation to protect them. After a while, the three of them discussed and came to a decision. "We are willing to follow you and join your sect." After the three of them made their decision, they bowed to Mo Qingyun with solemn expressions. Seeing their decision, Mo Qingyun nodded in satisfaction and said, "Although you have made your decision, I will take you with me. However, let me make it clear first. He quickly formed a hand seal and hit the young man. Soon, the hand seal entered the young man's body, allowing Mo Qingyun to sense the young man's body. After Mo Qingyun did all this, he solemnly said to the young man, "I want to give you a test. I'll send you to a place to train. If you can survive for half a month, I'll bring you back and reward you handsomely. Rest assured, world creation God, Suachi will not let you down." Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, the young man was overjoyed and promised excitedly. Looking at Suachi's performance, Mo Qingyun nodded with satisfaction and sent him out of the Fortune mainland. After sending Suachi out, Mo Qingyun revealed a satisfied smile and said, "With Suachi's galaxy realm cultivation, he won't attract anyone's attention in the vast Jin Yuan star field. Let him pay attention to the situation outside and sense the changes in the Jin Yuan domain ceiling formation." Mo Qingyun thought in his heart, if the Jin Yuan domain ceiling formation removed this mainland in half a month, he wouldn't need to hide anymore. There was no need for him to hide anymore. He could directly control the Thunder Shuttle and leave. If he was still trapped in the formation, he could observe the situation outside while cultivating the Heavenly Horse Crossing Realm Leap. Chapter 30:10. And Chun, what level of cultivation have you reached to be able to break through the formation by force? Mo Qingyun had been communicating with Chun through his consciousness while he was cultivating, trying to think of other methods. Chun pondered for a moment when he heard Mo Qingyun's question before he answered. "Master, although this formation isn't weak, it's still a false world formation. If my cultivation reaches the level of a Saint Emperor, it won't be too difficult to tear a hole in it by force." Chen's answer immediately made Mo Qingyun happy. He felt a lot more confident, and Chen's answer was equivalent to an additional way out for him. False world formation? Thinking of Mo Qingyun's choice of words, Mo Qingyun was a little puzzled. Seeing Mo Qingyun's puzzled expression, Chen explained, "Master, a saint array relies on the power of the stars to set up a formation, while a world formation relies on the power of the stars to set up a formation. Its power is far from what a saint array can compare to. This so-called suppressing Yuan domain ceiling formation should be an incomplete formation that was modified bit by someone. So that's how it is." After listening to Chen's explanation, Mo Qingyun nodded in understanding. He understood a little more in his heart. Soon after, Mo Qingyun made a clear decision in his heart. He said, "It seems like it's much easier to break through the true origin ceiling formation. If it really doesn't work, I'll just hide on the Fortune continent and not go out. Unless I cultivate the Heavenly Horse Crossing realms to the level of 2 wings, or Chen's cultivation reaches the level of a Saint Emperor." With this thought in mind, Mo Qingyun instructed Chen, "I'll stay on the Fortune continent for a while. I won't encounter any danger. During this period of time, you should also concentrate on your cultivation and try to break through to the Saint Emperor realm as soon as possible." Chen's cultivation breaking through to the Saint Emperor realm was a good thing for Mo Qingyun, whether it was to tear apart the true origin ceiling formation and leave, or for other reasons. The deterrence of a Saint Emperor powerhouse was not something a great Saint powerhouse could compare to. If the true beginning Devil Palace had a Saint Emperor expert, even the Dark Devil race would have to be wary and apprehensive when dealing with them. Yes, Chen immediately understood Mo Qingyun's instructions. Immediately, Chen's figure flashed as he flew towards the Hong Mist Sea. Dark Dawn headed to the Primordial Fog Sea. Mo Qingyun's footsteps didn't stop as he continued to cultivate the Heavenly Horse's Realm Leap. Under Mo Qingyun's wholehearted cultivation, his comprehension of the Heavenly Horse Crossing Realm Leap also became more and more thorough. Slowly, 2 faint shadows of wings began to appear on the Saint Energy flying horse that he had condensed. He said, "From my observations, I've discovered that Mo Qingyun is very sentimental. His little lover, Lame Yuan, is in the Taichu True Demon Hall in the neighboring starfield. If we take down the Taichu True Demon Hall and capture his lover, I don't believe he'll be able to remain calm. Although it's a little crude, it's indeed an excellent way to deal with Mo Qingyun. Although Zi Qinglong was rather disdainful of Zi Zhao's suggestion, he still nodded in agreement. Zi Juekong looked troubled when he heard Zi Qinglong and Elder Zi's suggestion. He seemed to be hesitant. He said, "Our whereabouts have been exposed. It's said that a saint emperor of the Alliance has brought many great saints into the Taichu starfield. It'll be very difficult for us to take down the Taichu true demon without anyone knowing. If we use brute force, it's hard to guarantee that there won't be huge losses. Is it worth it for Mo Qingyun?" Zi Qinglong was immediately shocked when he saw Zi Zhigu's reaction. He said, "Saint Emperor Zi Zhigu, you haven't fought with Mo Qingyun before. You can't understand how monstrous he is. In my opinion, as long as we can kill Mo Qingyun, it's worth it no matter what the cost is." Zi Zhigu made a decision after hearing Zi Qinglong's words. He said, "Pass down my orders. We'll attack the Taichu True Demon Hall immediately." With Zi Zhigu's orders, Zi Qinglong and the others began to move. They reorganized their forces and attacked the Taichu True Demon Hall. After hearing the great emperor's explanation, Lei Muin's expression turned for the better, and she felt grateful. She said, "If that's the case, I've thought too much. I apologize for that." Seeing Lei Muin's attitude, the great black bear and the others' expressions turned for the better. At this moment, Zhuo Qinglong, who had been silent all this while, said with a serious expression, "From today onwards, I'll be in charge of everything in the True Demon Star Domain. Hall Master Lei, please stay by my side and assist me." Hearing Zhuo Qinglong's words, Lei Guiyi and the others became unhappy. Now that the True Demon Hall was in danger, the True Demon Hall was very grateful that they came to help. However, they took over the True Demon Hall as soon as they arrived and seized control of the True Demon Hall. This was too overbearing. What was the difference between this and the Dark Demon race? We'll follow the Holy Emperor's arrangements. Although she was very unhappy, Lei Muin endured it and obeyed Zhuo Qinglong's orders. Her thoughts were clear. Everything would wait until Mo Qingyun returned. Furthermore, they needed their strength to fight against the Dark Demon race. At this moment, as everyone was discussing, Polar Snow entered the hall with a serious expression. "How dare you barge into the hall when the Holy Emperor is here? How rude." Seeing that Polar Snow entered the hall without announcing his arrival, the Black Bear Grand Sage scolded him unhappily. Then, with a wave of his arm, he sent Polar Snow flying with a palm strike. Seeing Black Bear's action, Lei Muin's face darkened. She looked like she was about to fight Black Bear. She said angrily, "Black Bear Grand Sage, don't go too far. Apologize to Hall Master Polar Snow immediately. Otherwise, don't blame me for being rude." Lei Muin was so angry because she respected Polar Snow. Furthermore, Polar Snow was Mo Qingyun's Grandmaster. The Black Bear Grand Sage injured Polar Snow in front of her. This was something she could not tolerate. "Hall Master, calm down." Seeing Lei Muin's actions, Lei Guiyi and the rest were shocked. They quickly tried to persuade her. Zhuo Qinglong and the rest were shocked when they saw Lei Muin's sudden outburst. Just now, when they seized the control of the true, absolute beginning Devil Hall, Lei Muin did not show the slightest bit of anger. Who would have thought that the Black Bear Grand Sage would be so angry after injuring a Hall Master? This should not have happened. The Black Bear Grand Sage did not care about Lei Muin's anger. He said nonchalantly, "He's just an ant in the World Lord realm. If he's injured, so be it. If he wants me to apologize to him, he must be dreaming." Seeing the Black Bear Grand Sage's attitude, Lei Muin was completely enraged. She sent a palm strike towards him. As Lei Muin attacked, a terrifying power of ice and thunder engulfed Black Bear.